gonna get people clapping for her. Oh, that's how a queen should act. Like I think you get more people to she gets more people to fully be on her side by kind of taking that next leg up and doing it that way, not retaliating, not oh, you know what? If he want to go on 10, I'm for to go on 15. And just like you said earlier, how people talk about in counseling, you don't want to continue trying to one up your partner. I'm gonna tell you right now, that ends both of y'all flaming out. Plain and simple.
Mhm. Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier. Like there is no respect level there. Even if she did come out and say, you know, look, the baby daddy has spoken. We gonna talk about this behind the scenes. Something, But she's coming. She's laying it on worse. She's laying it on thick now. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like she's really playing off of this. Hank,
Yeah.
how are you this evening?
Good evening, ma'am. How you doing? How's everybody else doing?
What
Doing
up,
well.
Hank?
Doing well.
What's happening now? What's happening?
We're talking about the Kiki Palmer and Darius situation to get the conversation started. Hello, Scam Likely.
What's
What
going
a
on?
scam.
So, what do you guys think of that situation before we move on to the first topic? Hank, you can go first.
Okay. I don't know. I mean, she's. It's one thing with the outfit. I mean, that's one thing. You know what I'm saying? But my thing is how she was dancing and grinding with it. That's what just. Yeah, I'm not good with that. I'm not okay with that.
Mm.
That's the part I find to be disrespectful. Not even the outfit, just the part of where she's she grinding on him and all that. Mm-mm. Yeah, that's not good. When you slow dance, that's an intimate thing, right? You
Okay.
damn near making love on the dance floor. Yeah, we can't be doing that.
Mm. It was like she was fangirling like she was in her room and nobody was watching.
Come on, man. Come on. I mean, she had to change the panty line after that show.
Stop, Hank. Stop it. Scam, what do you think?
I'll pass
Oh,
because
oh, oh. So you
you don't
too
want to
good to
know.
talk about Kiki?
Oh,
You
don't
don't.
want to know. Are
Okay,
you afraid to share your opinion, Scam?
I could, but you're not gonna like it.
I honestly, man, I love to hear it.
Me too. Let it roll.
We're talking about obesity in America. We're not talking about communication amongst people, violence, and all the real things. We're talking about that damn dress every damn day since Sierra and Russell Wilson wore that thing. Why do people care about that damn dress so much? Why? More than September 11th. More
All right,
than
Scam, you're going a little far. You're going a little far. You're going a little far. I know you're trying to prove a point, but that's a little far.
You don't think that it speaks to
wait till the
like,
next dress come. Give you a month. Wait till the next person wears a dress. You'll see.
but you don't think that it speaks to the communication and respect that and the decline that couples are showing each other, which kind of leads to the decline in families altogether, which is a concern.
That's why I'm glad he said something, honestly.
No, we're not talking about the person who lives to your next door. We're not talking about the refrigerator in your own house. We're not talking about the school up the street. We're talking about a dress for some people that you don't know and you're never going to meet. That damn dress.
Hmm.
Not
Okay,
saying,
so you want to talk about the dress because
no, I'm saying not the things that really
King
matter.
just asked you a question.
We say,
King just asked you a question saying, doesn't do you think that it reveals how the communication between man and woman when it comes to things like that is just like, okay, well, you could just do what you want. And I'm just going to double down on the disrespect instead of actually having the communication and saying, what is the standard? Like you said, we continue to talk about this dress, right? We talking about with Sierra and things like that. But we also have to continue to talk about the standard. If you're going to wear a dress like that and it's and you think, do you think it's acceptable? Do you think that dress is acceptable? Would you want your wife to wear that dress?
I'm trying to be respectful. So
Yeah, he don't care. His wife gonna walk all over his ass.
I'm trying to pass. I'm trying to be respectful, so I'll just pass and let Hank pretend like he can make up whatever he wants.
See, Precious, you understood what I was saying. I'm still not catching that Scam understands as well. It's all good.
Okay, I will answer then.
Go for it, Scam.
Like I said in the beginning, not 80% of your population obese, not the real problems. Let's talk about two people that you don't know and you're never going to meet in a dress that they wore months ago. And let's talk about somebody else you're never going to meet. And let's worry about their dress every day, every hour on the hour.
Okay, so what you're saying is you don't want to talk about this topic. Next topic.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying is there are real problems. People can look in their bank accounts, their lives, or look down at their belly and see a real problem. Real ones. No, let's worry about two people on the internet that you're never gonna meet and stalk that dress for 3 hours out of a 8-hour workday every day. That's gonna fix it all because it's a community, because of the peoples. Go for it.
Gotcha. Marcus, welcome.
What's up with you? Oh, what's up, everybody? What's up?
We're doing good. How are you?
I'm good. Yourself?
I'm doing good. What would you like to add to the conversation?
All right. Well, first of all, what was the question? I know it was about the dress, but I want to hear the whole context.
Well, it's we just started to talk about it, pretty much saying, have you guys seen it online? So now I'll ask the question, since that is a topic in social media and people have gone crazy over it, what is the standard? Do you think that he was right for saying something about the dress, or should he have just kept it quiet and she just get to show her ass and it's just another day in the neighborhood?
Well, first of all, he didn't say nothing wrong. It's not like he cussed her out or nothing like that. He just said like, yo, you a mom. Like, you shouldn't be wearing that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
I don't see nothing wrong with what he did. Now, like I said, it's one thing he cussed her out and cussed her out her name and shaming her and all like that. But when you're a mother, you gotta, like, it's nothing wrong with having fun, but it's a certain way you gotta carry yourself.
Mm-hmm. So
that right there, it was like, yeah, she was having fun, but you was grinding on Usher. I'm like, what's going on?
Right.
So Marcus, why was it a problem then when, if you look at both of their profiles, Kiki had been dressing a certain way since her and this guy's been together? Why was it only a problem then?
But that's for her. But that's for him. That's for him. Like, it's one thing that there's like, all right. For instance, like, if you and Precious were together, that's for y'all two. But when you're doing when she's out and doing that with another man, that's a violation. That's how I look at it.
Yeah, there was a line, and she definitely just hopped on over it.
I mean, am I wrong? I mean, can someone correct me? Am I wrong? Am I wrong?
No.
Fellas, no. Am I wrong? I want to know from you. Am I wrong?
Yes, no question. No, I don't believe you're wrong. And when she asked the question prior to you coming on, I stated that how he did it, he wasn't wrong in doing it. Yet, him jumping to say what he said, I don't believe was based on how on what she was wearing. I believe she did it because it was, or he did it because it was Usher. And that's what caused him to say what he had to say.
It doesn't matter, bro. It doesn't matter if it was Usher, Chris Brown, Michael Jackson, right? Michael Jackson, the Isley Brothers. It doesn't matter. Like you doing them to those, like you doing them to them brothers. That's not cool. Like, I don't understand what we're talking about, bro.
Yeah,
I'm
he
wondering.
didn't.
So there's a comment here that says, "I get that there was a line that she definitely crossed, yet his post seemed more geared towards her attire, not her behavior." Do you think that sometimes because Keke Palmer, I mean, now that she does have a child and her body is different from before having a child, you know, sometimes I feel as though some guys just don't know how to handle your beauty or the change in your body. And so do you think that he got a little bit like too hyped when it came to, you know, her new body and him wanting to show the world his girl, like, you know, that it's kind of like that ego, you know, pride type of thing? Like, do you think it could have been a little bit of that too?
Okay, that's fair.
My bad. All right, go ahead. My fault.
That's fair that sometimes men don't know how to handle the new body. But let's be real. Sometimes women, and
This is
who
true.
responsibility, the man or the woman not being able to handle it,
Mhm.
and
Mm-hmm.
more on her thirsty actions is what I call it. It needs to be something that she needs to if she feels right now she's feeling in her ways. I wrote a comment to it. Somebody had did a video and I said, respect for yourself. That's an interesting concept. It's funny how the word slut shaming seems to be dishonoring a slut as if being one is an empowering badge of honor. That sounds just as backwards uh, as a convict saying, let's say a snitch, saying that I deserve respect because I got a bid.
Mhm.
It's backwards, and that's really to me what was the issue. But to your point, he's not addressing the issue, and I think that it's probably strategic because he didn't want to embarrass her all the way by saying, "Yo, you out there looking like a thirsty blah 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 blah." So he was
Mhm.
kind of went in on the outfit, saying, "Hey, you're a mom now," trying to subtly bring a point across to her that she might be able to resonate with, embrace without insulting her, is the way that I saw it.
Okay. Okay. Marcus, did you want to go next?
Well, I hear what you saying. What's your name, Sean? I hear what you're saying, but let me ask you a question. Would you let your wife go out like that if she was at a Usher concert?
Would I let my wife go out like that if she was at I wouldn't I would hope that I would have enough sense to pick a wife that wouldn't want to go out like that to an Usher concert. Now if she chose to go out like that and I had an issue with it and she chose to otherwise, what can you do about somebody's choice? Would I feel offended if I asked her not to and she didn't? Absolutely. If I asked her, do not wear that, whatever the case may be, and you did it anyway, by the same way, if you asked me not to do something that you didn't want me to do, that I felt let's say go with a chick. I feel like I want to just get this other chick. You feel you don't want me to, and I go do it anyway. And now let's put that shoe on your foot.
Well, since you mentioned that, Sean, we're gonna go on to the next topic. We're gonna welcome the two new guests here. I always every time Ojore.
Yeah, you got it right. How you doing, Miss Precious?
I'm well, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thanks for inviting me up.
Of course, of course. And then we have L Turner. Haven't seen you in a while. L Turner, how are you?
Hey, what's going on?
We're
Pretty
doing pretty
good.
good. So we're gonna move on to the next topic. I know you guys came up, but Sean was talking about if a guy said, "Hey, look, I want to be with someone else. Are you okay with it?" I came across this clip and I wanted to have this conversation with the guys because I believe that there are times where a man can plant something in a woman's head and it's not necessarily a good thing. And I saw this clip and I said, why would he say that? We're gonna get into it.
We ain't gonna talk about it.
Go for what? No, let's talk about it. Put it out on the table.
You're not
Go for
gonna
what?
leave me if I cheat on you.
You're stupid.
You not.
You're
not
stupid.
leaving. You not leaving
You're
me if I cheat on you.
stupid.
You not.
You're
You're
stupid.
not leaving
You're
me.
crazy.
I've been with you so long.
Okay, try it. Try it. We'll see.
You're not leaving me if I cheat on you.
You're crazy. You want to cheat on me?
You're not leaving
Do
me.
you want to cheat on me?
I don't want to cheat on you, but you're not leaving me if I cheat on you.
You're crazy. And the thing about it is
I
that
done spent too much money for
I
you
don't
to
give that's your problem. Because guess what? I'm not even
Nah.
going. Let me tell you something. You cheat, I'm not even finna be on no rah rah da da da, da. I'm gonna be so player. I'm gonna be so player about this. I swear, like I'm not even gonna be like, I'm not doing none of that crazy shit. I'm going to literally leave in the middle of the night like a thief in the night. I'm telling you, you're gonna come home one day and think everything is goddamn good, and my is gonna be gone.
I don't believe that.
You're never gonna be able to locate
I
me.
don't believe that.
Okay.
I'm the one.
You the one that's about to get left. You got a side? You got a side?
At the end of the day, you talk about the wrong thing.
No, answer the question. You
No,
got a
it's
side
like,
B?
no, I don't have a side. I'm talking about other people.
Okay, because you talking like you talking from experience. Something like I thought I was gonna have to. Woo, you know what I'm saying?
No, I don't know. But at the end of the day,
So, a man saying, "Oh, if I cheated on you, you wouldn't leave." My question to you guys is, how would you expect your lady to respond to you saying she wouldn't leave you if you cheated?
Oh man. How
How would I mean? Is that something that you would even say to a woman? You're not going to leave me if I cheat. I mean, that takes a lot of confidence. That takes a lot of cojones to
and
say.
That's
To
this new
say,
age. Go ahead, bro. I was gonna just real quick. This is the new age of goofiness. The women, the fact that he even was able to say something like that to you means that you already gave him that thought that it's okay. Because there's no way in the world you're gonna get with a woman that will allow you to go cheat with them who have any respect for themselves. If they respect themselves, that's not even the topic of conversation, because you should expect the response she gave. In fact, she should have took another step further and said, "I'll leave you just for even saying something like that out of respect for myself." But this new level of like, how do you even choose a man like that? That he would even come out of space and say something like that. So I'm gonna just leave it at we're a little older, a little more mature. We come from different stock. And we know a woman should have some kind of value for herself, for us to value her. So if you can just look at her and say, if you leave me, if I cheat on you, you ain't going nowhere. Like, how much value does she have that you can even say something like that to? I'm gonna leave it at that.
That's an interesting point, and I can agree with that point of view. But to the point that I was making earlier, the problem is there's a lot of selfishness going on in this day and age, and it's not age restricted or age specific. The selfishness is running deep. And when you get involved and you become a couple, it's no longer about you and you only. Otherwise, stay single. The unfortunate thing is that a lot of people get into these relationships still having this single mentality, men and women both. And so, therefore, the same way she feel, I could do what I want. That's his counter to that. I could do what I want. You said you're gonna do what you want regardless. This is about me. Same thing that's going on. And this is why I say it's so immature, because that's what is being spoken about in this generation now, specifically, especially this social media age. And again, it's not age restricted, because we got old people in our generation speaking the same thing. I do what I want. And so if in fact you have that mentality, then expect what he just said, because it goes hand in hand. He's just really saying what you said in other words.
El Turner?
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with what he just said. I think it's mainly propaganda. It's what's going on in the media feeding us this whole, what is it called, polygamy? People thinking that, first of all, America is just built off greed right now. Everything's about getting more than I'm entitled to, getting the best deal. I got the best opportunity out of the bunch. And I had a conversation with a friend of mine earlier today about it. I said, what's funny to me is that a lot of women, even the heavier weight women, they complain about wanting male attention. And if they were to lose the weight, the guy that they initially wanted, they wouldn't even want him no more. They would be trying to upgrade the next model of man they can get, because we are wired to want the next best thing. So right now, the relationship aspect, as I related back to this conversation, the idea that I'm going to cheat and have my cake and eat it too, and you're going to sit there and do absolutely nothing and like it, is the norm now. It's the norm. So many people are saying that that's what it is, that it's cool. And, like I said, I think I was on here, it was a while ago, but I said getting people back to watching The Cosby Show would be a good thing, because even though it was a TV show, it normalizes seeing black men and black men and more importantly, husband and a black wife functioning together. We don't see it in no representation on nothing. Even the ones that got a great relationship, they rarely talk about it in the media. They probably feel like they're going to get shunned for it. But the people that's in the spotlight are always dysfunctional. The Cardi B, she's married, but refuses to acknowledge or talk about marriage. She wants to tell everybody stuff that she let her daughter listen to. Same like Nicki and all these other female rappers. And then the men, I don't know what men at with the rap. I think J. Cole he put out a record and he was talking about folding clothes. And Chance the Rapper tried to honor his marriage in one of his records, but it didn't do a lot of numbers. So I think it's just the Gen Z, and it's where we at the times. People are conditioned to think this way, and so many things against it, from TV, music, telling them this is what the world should be like. And they trick people to believing that if you don't accept this way of life, you're being duped, because this is the best thing ever. You should have more than one person. That's what people are being programmed to think, and that's what I got to say.
Okay. Hank?
Yeah, I don't respect I couldn't. If she's okay with that, I couldn't respect her. I'll lose all respect for her. Period. I mean, if you allow me to talk like that and even do it, yeah, that shows the lack of respect I have for you. And I just feel like I'm gonna just walk all over you. So I really don't need to be with you. But I know Sean was talking about single mind. I mean, 90% of the world has a single mindset, even though they're married. Because if that's the case, then y'all would be doing one pot. Y'all wouldn't have your money and my money. It wouldn't be that. It'd be one pot. You think like a single man mindset. Because you got your own money, she got her own money. No, not if you won. Not if you come together. Not if you're a unit. Then that shouldn't be the case. But I digress.
Okay. Scam.
Only thing I was gonna say is notice he said because he spent so much money on her.
Right.
This is what we're doing. But then again, the scamosphere and the traditionalists, all they talk about, protect and provide, money, big money, your job, big money. This is taught behavior. The ball was dropped. People didn't teach this thing called relationship skills, and they're not doing it now. So it's going to get worse. So expect more stuff like this to come out. And knowing that the dumber of content that you come up with, the more views, like that damn dress. Or like anything, it could be fake. You had the gold digger pranks, or somebody saying, I hate men because they black. 300,000 views in one day, and it'd be fake. But that's who people are. So I don't know. That's all
okay. King?
Before I give my response, see, Scam, what you said, right? Because you said that people don't talk about how to make relationships work. Well, I think that in talking about the dress, people aren't really talking about the dress. They're talking about the dysfunction that's occurring in relationships and why they're not working. So that's why you say people are talking about the dress. I'm like, all right, cool. that conversation needs to be had because it's what's occurring within people's homes. So that was the correlation to what I was trying to say earlier. Why are you shaking your head to that?
We go to celebrities in Hollywood, people who look like something that most people don't look like, act and are something that 99.99.99 people aren't, and say this is what's going on in the homes. Really? That's what we're doing?
I don't disagree with that. Yet there's still things that can get pulled that talks to how you should have a conversation with your significant other about things. Because, all right, so for example, personally for me, when social media was a thing, me and my ex-wife, but one of the things that caused me to block her on social media while we were still married, we had a disagreement about something that I asked her. I didn't tell her. I asked her not to post, and my reason for saying, hey, I would love it if you did not post that is I don't think it makes us look good. And she hit me with a, you don't tell me what to do. And I'm like, you know what? You're right. I also didn't tell you to do it. However, if you continue and you do this, you know what? Here's what's going to happen. I am going to block you so that I do not see what you're posting that does what, in my opinion, makes us look bad. She made the post. I blocked her on all social media. We never argued about social media ever again. Right? That's a regular household, you know? So I think you can pull some of these conversations. Yes, celebrities live different than the average person. I'm not going to dispute that. But the things that are occurring within these relationships, because they are public, I think we can pull from them and talk about that stuff to try to course correct what's going on in the current dating marketplace.
How's that been
Have
working
any
out?
control over what you wear when you go out?
Oh, hell no. No.
This isn't Kiki scam, so just watch this.
No.
Shit.
No.
If Shawty wears something a little too bit revealing, you heard me? I should have a bit say so just because like you were a reflection of me.
No.
If that makes sense.
No. I walked out here in
She
this
on-
mini
she on that
mini
feminist
skirt.
shit. She on that
Right, because I'm a
feminist
woman of 2023.
No,
and I
no,
feel like
she
women,
look good.
women can wear what they want to
fine
wear.
like some- look, you
I shouldn't
fine,
have
look.
to talk to my
Look,
husband
look,
about
look.
wearing what I should wear, you
Look,
know?
you fine like someone, but at the same time, also be respectable and respect your husband. You heard me?
No. If I want to wear a bralette, I can wear a bralette out. I shouldn't have to ask for his permission. I shouldn't ask for his permission.
No thing on your titties out.
I'm not saying my
we
titties
breaking
out.
up. We
He's
breaking
saying
up.
if I
We
wear a
breaking up. We
bralette
breaking up.
in the
What you talking
underwear, that's what I'm saying. I know.
Hey,
A
no, I
man,
mean, no, this cool
a
for the
man
night, 'cause
should
I'm finna
not
take
be
this
able.
off later.
A
Look,
man,
I'm finna
no.
take this off
A
later.
man should not be able to
worry
tell a
about it.
woman
Don't
what
worry
she
about
should and should not wear. It's 2023. If there are flying
Yeah,
cars,
yeah, in
that
tw-
means
in
men cannot
2023.
tell women what they
Go
should
back
wear.
to 1993.
That's
Let's
period.
see what
That's on
happens.
anything.
Let's see what
You should
happens.
not be able to tell me what I have to wear.
Look,
That's
you know
not
what I'm
no
talking about?
no.
That type of conversation is occurring in regular people's
Right. It proves my point about relationship skills and real conversations. Instead, they're having them conversations.
Well,
So, what's a real conversation you would like to have, Scam?
Me personally,
Mhm.
I prefer trolling, so comedy does it for me.
All right, we need to
You
go.
don't even want to have the conversation.
Huh?
Yeah, he's wasting goddamn time.
All right.
Wait. Can I?
Goddamn scam.
Wait, come on, man. All right.
That's the question.
Go ahead, Marcus.
I'm just gonna make this real short, man. For him to ask that type of question, I believe he did it to see how she would react, obviously. But I wouldn't be surprised if he already did it anyway. And let's say they did break up for some messed up reason, I don't think any man is gonna respect her for saying what she just said.
Right.
That's
Well, the funny
I'm confused as to what he was talking about. Which video? The one with the
He's talking about
girl?
the original video. Yeah.
the original video. No, the original video. The original video. Now, actually, never mind. I was gonna say something about the next one, but the other one. But
This is the video he's talking about.
Go for
That I
what?
played.
No, let's talk about it. Put it out on the table.
You're not
Go
gonna
for it.
leave me if I cheat on you.
You're stupid.
You not.
You're
not leaving.
stupid.
You not leaving
You're
me if I cheat on
stupid.
you. You not.
You're stupid.
not leaving
You're
me.
crazy.
I've been with you so long.
Okay, try it. Try it. We'll see.
You not leaving me if I cheat on you.
And why would he say I've been with you too long? I'm not gonna play the whole thing, but that's the video he was talking about.
My opinion.
That's dangerous though.
He already know his girl. They've been together, like he said, we've been together too long. I already know you. Now the question I would have is she saying what she's saying because she's in the public eye and she understands it's being recorded? Or do he understand his chick and he understand that that's the relationship they have? You know, because we don't know.
You think he already been cheating and it's like,
I think it's both ways. Like I think one of the gentlemen said, he said he goes, that's the relationship. Like you're just giving the same energy you giving me. That's our relationship.
How many views did each of those clips get? I'm just curious.
I don't know, Scam. I really don't.
Because that'll prove my point.
All right. So to bring my point to this video, I'm not going to say anything that's already been covered because I agree with what several of the men here said. But the thing that I think that he's done for doing is he's introducing a thought to her, and to me, I think that that's something that you should not do. So how she asked him, so are you cheating? Do you have a side piece? Like now she's gonna go forward, operate on what this dude might be doing outside of what they got going on together. And I think that the moment that a guy does something like that, he's lost his significant other, unless he's the type of person where he doesn't care because he thinks he can get away with whatever and she ain't going nowhere.
Well, I agree.
Well, let me ask y'all this. Let me ask the fellas this. Even if he wasn't cheating, do you feel like for him to put that thought out there is dangerous?
It's dangerous.
You know, interesting. I was just about to address that. I was just about to say, Scam, I'm going to come on to your side of the world right now.
Whoa.
Right?
Wow, somebody who gets it.
Wait, bro. You going to be on his side of all people?
Hey, Sean, last week with Scam, I agreed with almost everything that he said. I said, man, I got through an entire stream where I rocked with everything that Scam talked about. Scam brings some good points sometimes.
He does make very good points sometimes, and it wasn't a point that he made tonight. It's a point of view that he makes. And always getting on the women. Man, if he was a man, I would be like, yo, you sitting there advocating cheating is okay. You advocating sitting there that you're gonna lie, cheat. If I cheat, if you want another lady, I say this all the time, then be man enough to say that, and whatever comes with that, be man enough to face that.
But is he is he advocating for cheating?
Yes, he's saying if I cheat, you're gonna stay.
I think so.
He's saying that.
He's asking her a question. That's not advocating for cheating.
That's not advocating for it.
The whole thing is why are you even sitting there saying like cheating? It's okay. You're gonna stay. If I can't.
Wait. Okay. Wait. Hold on. Respectfully, how is he advocating for cheating if he's asking her a question?
He said he didn't ask her a question. He stated a statement that you're gonna stay if I cheat. That's what he says.
You're gonna if I cheat. Okay, fine, all right. But he's not advocating for cheating though.
How are we not addressing it as men?
Mr. Charles just put a Bible quote in the chat. Kevin Samuel said, "Exercising your option is not cheating." This is the stuff we're talking about.
But it has to be talked about though. But it has to be talked about though.
But Lord Kevin Samuel, because he said it is true. Lord Samuel.
I agree, but all right. If Precious, all right. If I'm gonna marry Precious, and this is an example, Precious, so don't take this to heart. If I'm being respectful, so you
don't have to say that to me.
I know, but we're in a sensitive era, so that's why I have to say what I say. So that's why I'm saying it. If I'm marrying Precious, I'm like, yo, I'm letting Precious like, hey, listen, you're gonna have everything and everything gonna be good, but there's gonna be some times I'm gonna have some other ladies, and there's gonna be some boundaries. Like I ain't gonna have no side babies, no none of that. You the one that's gonna have everything. That's a conversation. Now, what you're saying, I agree. He should let him know if you want him more than one woman. Yeah, y'all should have that conversation. But he's not. But he's not advocating for cheating.
But
he's
what you just said, respectfully, some bullshit that men say all the time. And that's the point. Is that we sit there and say, oh, if I make all the money, I can control it however I want. That's some bullshit. That's some irresponsible bullshit that we've been promoting for a long time, and we need to stop promoting it.
Thank you, Sean. Sean, we're on board. But if Kevin Samuel said it,
I agree with all. I agree with y'all on all that. I think that dude was basically stating his position. He was saying that I got you. Basically, if I want to do something, I could do it because of whatever his position is in her life. And in some cases, you could just argue that he was boasting. He was being boastful. He was bragging. Basically, he was telling, you know how girls do that. You ain't going nowhere. My box is so good, you're not gonna leave.
Stop bragging about the money we make. Like that's the point of that. Like that's the point of value that makes the most sense. And because we're advocating,
it wasn't smart. It wasn't smart, but this is the internet era. Everybody wants to go on, talk about their accomplishments and tell you what they're going to do.
Right. This is where we change it. Let's start changing.
We can't change it without the help of females. First place, females sell themselves.
Huh? What?
That's reality. Females sell themselves to the highest bidder.
I beg your pardon?
Females
we have to go one at a time.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Adroy. What were you saying? We have to go one at a time because when we talk over each other, the audience can't really hear us clearly.
Men can make the correction unless there's balance. And the balance, that's all balance, is that women sell themselves to the highest bidder. It is important how much you make. It is important what you have. It is important what type of house you have. That is the value they expect from a man. What type of figures he bring in, what type of possessions he owns, and what if she is secure in that relationship. Your mother started that.
Do you believe it?
Yeah, it's a lie.
I have to deal with females every day. Yes, I believe it.
Wait. So
it's a lie, bro.
Your mother started it. Yeah, wait. Your mother started it, is what you're saying. You're saying that you need her. So why are you following what your mother says?
First place, I need to. If I'm broke, the woman I want to attract has to respect me for something. If money is the prize, if money is the pinnacle, that is what I have to have, right?
But the problem is, then they're not respecting you. They're respecting your money, and you don't get that.
And that's exactly our
brother
situation.
Has a point.
That's exactly our situation.
He has a point. He has a point on that, bro.
Oh, thank you, Sean.
What part makes it a point? Because from what I understand, that
Lord
is,
have mercy
that
on
is
our
male-female relationships right now. That is what they're discussing. So you're telling me, how do I step outside of societal bounds?
Deuteronomy 2nd chapter, verses 9 and 10.
You want the truth, or you want to hear what you want to hear? Pick one.
You strategically do it, and you stand 10 toes and do it. Unfortunately, you don't want to do it. That's the problem.
I'm in a relationship, but
not you specifically. I'm making a person.
But the next generation coming up, my kids. Now,
I'm just saying, us nowadays, we stand on that when it's convenient. We stand on that and pride ourselves in how much money we got, and never pride ourselves on how much character we got.
Well, we're going. Sean, are you on my notes? Are you? Did you?
Yeah, I'm right there.
Did you see?
Right there.
We're going to get into that in the last topic, but I did want to welcome not First Dust Corinthians and Bolo TV.
What up, OG Bolo?
Welcome. I do recognize.
You went from 1 to 2 clowns. From 1 to 2 clowns.
That's not understudy troll.
So welcome, guys. Did you guys want to add anything to the conversation before we move forward?
Yes. We're asking a question about how would you expect your woman to respond to you saying that she wouldn't leave you if you cheated. Again, I think it's I reject the statement saying that yes, there had to be balance in relationship, but in terms of me being the man, like and husband, my relation with my wife, is that we have to set the tone. It's the same thing with the whole situation with Keke Palmer and the whoever the dude Darius' name is, right? Like you have to set the tone of the boundaries in your relationship and saying, hey, listen, if this is non-negotiable, I'm not going to negotiate it. The fact that, hey, if you're gonna cheat, then like, all right, then there might be some leeway. I'm gonna give you a day pass, and they made a movie about that mess. I don't accept that. And I think once we kind of accept that type of I say mediocre mindset, well, who's gonna be basically the benefactors of that? No one, because what happened is that you base your law on the standards the way you can have more of a carnal mindset. I reject that. Again, that goes against the scriptures in Chronicles verses 9 and 10.
In the name of those Chronicles.
You reject it and you cite your scriptures on it. Go ahead, brother. Salute.
Absolutely. Thank you, brothers. Peace.
See,
and congratulations.
Y'all could come up with your own, Dust Chronicles or Corinthians.
Congratulations on your new marriage.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you.
I'm good,
yes,
friend.
Congratulations.
Princess, how you doing, Princess? How you doing, brothers? Brother Hank, how's everybody doing?
We're doing good. We're doing good. Glad to have you
I just
again.
wanted to add this to it, man, because I hear some of the points. Thank you. I hear some of the points about leading with your money. If money is what solidifies your position, what happens when you don't make that money no more? If money is what makes me who I am in the relationship, and it's not my integrity, it's not my character, it's not who I am as a man and protecting and nurturing, so forth and so on. What happens when I stop making money and she's the one bringing in the money? Does it mean she wears the pants now? See, there has to be more to what I bring to the table besides just money. And that's our problem. Our problem is we've been boiled down to finance. That's what the man's been boiled down to. That's it. See, the problem with that is we're teaching our daughters and our women to trust the plan opposed to trusting the man. Plans fail. Plans fail. So we have to understand that, when you look at that man, what do you see in him? That's the point. What are you giving? Everybody talks about submission. And you're not giving these women something to submit to. You're giving them temporal things to hold on to, which is money, a home, right? What happened to the women back in the days where they said, wherever you go, I go? You have to understand that their relationship is based on more than just finance. It's a spiritual connection, a mental connection, an emotional connection, and a physical connection. It's all of these things working in conjunction together that keeps this relationship working. Because understand something, the sexual portion of it stops at a certain point. So when you're in Walmart and you see those two people at 185 years old still holding hands, what's keeping them together? It ain't the money. It ain't the sex. It's that spiritual connection, that mental connection where they can talk to each other. Where when he stopped, look at it. When my mom passed, my father passed right after. There's a connection. I lost my mother. He lost his world. And we don't search for that connection anymore, right? So that when she sees him, she doesn't want to live. This is the connection that we need to search for, not this garbage that you're hearing on YouTube for YouTube talking points, man. It's garbage. And all the guys that talk this nonsense are all single. I don't understand how that works. You're taking advice from people that are not married, people that are not in relationships, cats that are trying to get there, but not there. We got to do better.
Bolo, actually, it's a bunch of married ones selling the same talking points, getting money out of it. But even worse, to be honest.
It's some, not all. Some.
That's fair.
It's some.
When
you're talking about those married people when you talk about those married ones, right, where they talk about covenant versus contract, right? Contracts are cold. Contracts are static. A covenant is it continuously moves, right? There are going to be things that happen in our relationship that we didn't think about. When you're dealing with a contract, you can't move. This is what it is. It's cold. So when we go, listen, my brother, Hank, our relationship, our friendship can't be on a contract, because that means if he moves a certain way, once he does that, I'm gone. But what if something happened in his life that has happened to him to make him get off kilter? Right? So there has to be things, there has to be room for mistakes. There has to be, because we make mistakes daily as men. We make mistakes daily. So there has to be room. So if you have a married man kicking that contract thing, I would run. I would run, because a woman will never love a man as much as a man loves a woman. It is impossible. And I'll explain to you why. Because our love for the woman is sacrificing. You have to understand that. So we need to make sure you do the best that you can, because we make mistakes, we're fallible, right? Make sure you do your best to pick a woman that is going to be a mirror of you. Understand that. Don't just go out there looking for a chick that got a fat behind. Then we wonder when she takes us to court and takes us for child support, you know,
Bolo,
we gotta
I
do
got a question,
that.
Bolo.
Yes,
Bolo,
sir.
do a woman making
Please ask.
6 figures marry down?
What was the question?
Say it again.
Do a woman making 6 figures marry down?
In most situations, if it's a
Of course,
woman
hold on. I
that is
want to know what
modern,
Scam Like you got to say.
I'm going to answer you. I'm gonna
No,
answer you.
Scam Like
In
you the
most
one with
situations,
the face. Tell me what's the problem with that question.
no, forget that. If it's a modern woman, in most situations, no, she's not. No, she will not. Because here's the difference between a traditional woman and a modern woman. A modern woman is hypergamous, like you just gave the example of. And I agree with you. She's about her bread. She's about her degree. She's about making sure she's good. A traditional woman puts family first. It doesn't mean that she can't have a degree. Doesn't mean that she can't have a doctorate. Doesn't mean that she can't have a job. She understands that going out there is her getting the spoils and bringing it home. She's tenacious and malleable to all those situations, but she understands why she's doing it. It's for the home. The modern woman, it's about herself.
So you're absolutely Bolo. My question is, why do we use so many very intricate words like hypergamous instead of just selfish?
Because you know what it is. Because when you're talking to somebody, right? You know, God tells you in the scriptures, you know, season your words so that they can understand it. I don't want to be offensive. You dig what I'm saying? I want you to take in what I'm trying to say. And sometimes when you say to a woman you're being selfish, she may not get the point that you're trying to convey. And the reason why we're having these conversations is not to win, because when someone wins, someone loses, and that person that loses is not trying to hear what you're trying to say. I'm trying to leave here with understanding you guys and gals and take it and think on it and grow and add it to myself. So you use these words where you can get the message across without offending.
Well, the whole thing is that you're right. If they can even understand the word, a lot of times they don't even understand the word, and you're using.
Sean,
go ahead.
Now, you know, I always say that we need to expand our vocabulary. We need to learn new words.
See, Sean?
Because this is another reason why people do not communicate in relationships, because they don't know the words to say, and the value of their words really don't hold any weight.
And to your point, I'm not saying not to expand your vocabulary, but sometimes you have to meet a person where they are. And sometimes we get so caught up on the word, we miss the point of view that is trying to be made, which if it was simplistic like Jesus does, he simplifies everything that people try to complicate so that it can be understood.
I have a question for you, Sean, since you said that.
Let me speak after Marcus. Go ahead, Marcus. Marcus?
It's very complicated in the King James Version, Sean. So you might want to read the Message version. That's a simpler version of the Bible. There's a lot of different versions. You say that Jesus simplified things, but there are so many different versions for you to. And this is just the Bible. I'm not talking about everyday life, but that's why there are different versions of the Bible for the level of understanding. So in the world, when you go out into the world, you do have to elevate your understanding at times. But I understand what you're saying.
I understand what you're saying. And just the last point is that though all of those versions were made by Christians, Christ was not a Christian. Let's remember that. So
Well,
it
I'm just
doesn't.
talking about the words that are used. There
I'm
are
thinking,
different words used in the King James version than there are in the Message version, the New Living Testament
let
version.
me interject. Let me interject, please. I understand your point, Sean, and I understand Precious's point. The point of the matter is we want to get this message out without offending. Now, if the word hypergamous is too high, or someone says, "Yo, Bola, I don't understand what that means," then you give them a simpler understanding on it, right? But when you certain words that you use, when you say, "Yeah, women are selfish," you see the position that Precious took. That was because of what you said. So at least if I say hypergamous, she's going to say, "Well, what does that mean?" And I'll say, they go up, they marry up. Women don't typically date down. They date men that either make what they make or make more than they make. Now she walks away having an understanding without being offended, because now when Sean opens up his mouth to say something, I ain't trying to hear what he has to say, even though you weren't trying to be offensive. You were trying to be straightforward. I get what you say. I believe straight talk makes straight understanding. But when you don't know, I got 8 people on this panel, right? So I don't know where everyone is at. So I have to try to keep it in the middle someplace. And if someone says, "Bolo, I don't know what that word means," then I'll give them the definition of it. But we want to try and keep it to a point where no one gets offended. Now, some people may get offended, but in the aspect of the offense is in the point that we're trying to defend or trying to make, not in the aspect of trying to get at your ego or your pride, because a lot of the times that's what happens on these panels. We get egotistical and prideful, and then we lose the message.
Yeah, might I respond to I think Ojori? How do you say it? The guy below me?
Ojori.
Ojori. Oh, and don't take stuff I be saying too serious. I am a troll by trade. And when I'm animated, it's fake. I'm a clown. But in serious conversation, the reason I push back on the talking points and the 6 figures and the exercise option and the high value is junk. They lied to everybody for the last 15 years. Just finally got it to YouTube. Protect and provide and big money, big money. Here's the deal. Women want somebody they're attracted to. And there's a big problem with communication amongst man and woman. It's the #1 reason for divorce. Panels don't want to talk about it. What do they say? Grab a briefcase with money and beat her over the head with it. Money, money, big money. There's a problem with compatibility. Day-to-day activity between a man and a woman. Whatever city you live in, go to where the 2-bedroom apartments are. You'll see couples and some of them be married, and there'll be a car seat in the back. So if it was about money, how you get this pretty woman and he only made $48,000 a year? And she knows his supervisor been drilling after her for 5 years. Her own supervisor, the CEO, 26-year-old woman. Like, I live in Florida. Some beautiful ladies out here. They taking 70-80%, especially Hispanic. And they with regular dudes that make 50, 60, and they've been with them since they was 24, 28, and they're not leaving. But they're going to keep telling you, don't work on your communication or your actual relationship skills. Family, goals, all the stuff, the day-to-day that actually can get us out of where we are as people, or the things that they lied to with this traditional and how it was back in the day, they were lies. Back in the day got us where we are right now. The tradition is a lie. It's a scam. Some people kept their wives and kept things in order. Most didn't. And now we got the Nation of Wigwam running this country and people out of control. That's something I can say.
One thing. Can I say one thing? I agree with you. Everything you said, Scam.
Mm-hmm.
But those important attributes and traits and understandings are taught in the home. Not taught in school. Is not taught in the street. It's in the home, and most of us are coming up in single-family homes.
You're correct.
So you're not even getting a view of what it's like to see two adults cohabitate and raise a family, because they're at odds most of the times when they have these children. So that's our next generation. Now I have no problem with teaching mine. You know what I'm saying? I try to fill in what I can, but I understand that the next generation, they're married, their ability to marry and cohabitate is really slim. You know, and I'm not saying that you don't have people that work together and have relationships and build together. I'm not saying that, but trying to find somebody who has the mindset and understanding because they were raised right is the problem. And I don't feel for us. I feel for the next generation, because those are the ones that's going to be deciding if they pull a plug, if we go in nursing homes, or if they're gonna come and visit us, or those are the ones that's gonna be taking care of us. You know, so it's just that generation. Once they come up, right.
All generations are screwed up, to be honest. Some of them are covered. The older ones are covered.
That's why.
Oh, go ahead.
That's why it's important for us to reach back, my brother. And I love your background, King. But that's why it's important for us as men to raise these young men. That's why it's important for us.
I'm sorry, Bola. I don't mean to
reach back and give them an example. I'm sorry, darling.
I apologize for interrupting, but can you guys please mute in between when someone is speaking? Because I hear feedback. I don't know who it's coming from or where it's coming from, but it'll help the sound quality.
That's my fault. That's my fault. I'm helping somebody. I'm multitasking. My fault.
Thank you. Can you please mute? I appreciate that.
So what I was saying is, so what I was saying is that's why it's important. We talk about community when we talk about village. Community, when you look at that word, is common, right? The community had something that they walked for, that they believed in. We don't have that no more. Everyone is out for dolo. Everyone's trying to get theirs. So we need to build that community, right? Each person on this panel believes in that, right? So we need to reach back and start to spread it, not just on YouTube, but in our real life. You dig what I'm saying? We failed that generation, brother. The generation, the generation that's coming up, under us. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You're absolutely right. But the point that I was making, and I do see your point as far as the wording, and I'm not pushing back on that, but you're more advanced than the people who we are targeting. And sometimes we have to get to where they are to move them along to the point of view where you're at. And so community, you're absolutely right. I agree. But we have to really figure out how do we attack that community in ways to challenge everything that is going against us in those communities. So we can't talk by just
of that show.
What was that?
The simplicity of that, Sean, is just be there, brother. A lot of these young men, right now, and I start with the young men because we are leaders. These young men haven't been hugged, brother. These young men haven't been sat down and just heard from. Because you have to understand, on my channel, we counsel people, brother. And I've heard young ladies talk to their sons at 7 and tell them that they're the head of the household. What does a young boy do with that? When a woman tells her son that he's the head of the house, it shifts his thought process. So now he can't cry, he can't hurt, he can't feel. He has to run through that wall and continue to run through that wall. And he keeps that thought process for 18, 19, 20 years until he snaps. So we're walking around with mental illness, depression, all these things, and we haven't had a place to let it out. So I'm glad, the one thing about YouTube, I'm glad about that we have these places and forums where men can speak and get their, get that edge off. I'm happy for that. But they need to see it in real life, not just virtually. It needs to be there, and that's where we start. Everything else will fall into place.
And I can't dispute that. If it was that simple though, it would have already been done. Because there are a lot of brothers who display that regularly, including yourself and a lot of the men on this panel. Problem is with a deeper rooted issue than just that can simply be done but through example only.
Well, like I said, it comes from. This is the thing, man. It's like when you have a cup, and that cup is overfilled with water. There's nothing you can pour into that cup until you empty the cup out sometimes. So sometimes we have to let these young men vent to get that edge off so that the information that we're going to give them, it sits and it stays and it marinates. Sometimes they just need to be still, and listen, we all do it in our communities, right? I do it in mine. Hank does it in his. Precious does it in hers. You do it in yours. So, it will grow. And those that need to get it will get it. Those that don't, listen, you can't save everybody. And you have to go in there with that thought process. Everyone can't be saved. So those that want truth will find it. It's something in your heart that says, you know, this ain't right. And when you search for it and you hear it, you say, this clicks. And that's what it is. You just let your light be shown, and whoever is going to gravitate to it will.
Well, let me say this. We talk about how money's not important. Man, y'all sound like fools. Because ain't none of y'all with okay being goddamn broke. I know I ain't. I've been broke. I've been poor. I ain't going back. Ain't no goddamn way I want to ever go back to being broke and poor. So if y'all worry about talk about money, hell yeah. Me and my lady I'm trying to be the richest, most wealthiest motherfucker I can, even though I'll probably never be, but that's not gonna hurt the effort. It's not gonna hurt the effort because I'm gonna try. Me and Hug will try to get that. Do what we got to do now. Talking about emotional intelligence, we should have learned that at home. Our parents should have taught us that. I teach my son all the time, and I give you an example. He was upset because his mother took his right to drive his car because he took some money that was his, but took his money from his mother without letting her know. I said, dude, that's your fault. You know better. He said, it's mine. I understand. You're right. It is yours. But you don't go take something that don't last. It's called stealing. I don't care however you want to see it. It's called stealing. You don't do that. Why would you ever do that for me and your mother? So he could drive all weekend. He was upset. He was mad. He was frustrated. I said, dude, what are you getting upset for? You made a bad decision. You made a bad investment. Now you got to suffer the consequences of your actions. So I talked him down about getting upset and mad because he was to the point where if frustrated, ready to go tell, what are you doing, dog? We're not doing this. That's not how we respond. You recognize what you did wrong. You acknowledge it. You apologize for it and make it right. And when your consequences is done and over with, then you move on. But you got to we learn that at home. As a grown man, you ought to know it before you out and in a relationship. If you don't know about it, you don't need to be in a relationship. You need to get your shit together.
All right, Hank.
That's 100.
Wait, I have a question for Hank. And what's up, brother Hank? I do agree that, like, yes, we need self-control and all that, and I agree with what you were saying. But us men, we need emotional intelligence.
Yes, that is a must. That is a must. You got to.
Do you not think that you need it, Marcus?
You have to
don't
know
think
how
you need
to.
it?
You don't.
Every situation doesn't call for me to fly off the handle, to fight, to get volatile, to argue. It doesn't. Some situation calls for me just to sit down and just be quiet.
Is there a female equivalent for that word?
Emotional intelligence.
I'm talking about the hard angles. I'm not talking to the women. I'm talking to the dudes.
For women, it turns into femininity, actually, when you have emotional intelligence.
Listen, you know, the thing that we have a problem with as men is saying that we don't get emotional. It's impossible to do anything without emotion, man. So when Hank is talking about having emotional awareness, emotional intelligence, it's impossible. We're not Vulcans. We don't just walk around saying, hey, I love you. Hey, get better. We don't do that. For me to connect with you, brother, when something happens to you, for me to connect with you, I got to connect with you emotionally and give you the intelligence that you need to have to get you to where you need to be to navigate through it. When you have a child, you connect with them emotionally. It's when you get erratic, and now you're emotional in the aspect of nothing is coherent. He's not speaking on that. What he's speaking in is having emotional intelligence to understand the situation that you're in. Do I need to choke this person for 7 seconds, or do I just need to converse with this person and just leave him alone? Do I need to back up a little bit and leave this cat alone, or talk sternly? Not every situation is a blurt. And a lot of us, again, it goes back to being raised in single parent homes. A lot of our young men are taking the attributes of these mothers that they're being raised by, right? They don't know how to articulate themselves. They don't know how to explain how they feel. They're very quick to move. Men usually sit down and say, hold on, before we run into that room, let me understand everything that's going on. In most situations, situations. Now, there will be times when you act up. There will be times. But what Hank is speaking on is so important. We need to have emotional intelligence.
I mean, as a man, that's a must. And that's the problem with a lot of us men now. We act out our emotions. You see a lot of crimes going down over emotions because they're acting too emotional, because they don't know how to act, to carry themselves and respond on certain situations. The shit that happened in Chicago at that hot dog stand, that is an over-emotional man who responded and acted the way he acted. And it cost him his life.
Yeah, that's more emotional management.
Hold on, Scam. It almost cost him the mother and that son's freedom because they show lack of emotional intelligence. Now, that boy's young. He's 14. He's still in the learning process, right? But his mother did him a disservice because she should have been showing an example of emotional intelligence.
Yeah, I think it was more emotional management than emotional intelligence. But emotional intelligence will teach emotional management. That's all I was going to say.
Right on.
You know, I got something I want to add. Can I add something? All right. So I know you initially started out talking about the chick Keke Palmer, and that's what I wanted to talk about, and it's gonna be brief. But I was watching the Chantel Simone show and a couple other shows, and they were just talking about how the guy Darius, you know, he's basically a victim, and he chose this girl and why she doing what she's doing, and she needs to convert back to being the good girl that she is. But I got evidence that she's never been the good girl that people think she is. And I mean, I know where she's from. She's from Chicago. Actually, she's from Robbins, Illinois. She's from a hood. But people show you who they are all the time. So Keke Palmer, she didn't have a real body on her at first. She was pretty small. And eventually she got her body from getting pregnant. But I followed her on Instagram for a while. And she was posting videos showing you that she got no problem showing off her body. So if you see this, your chick pregnant and she don't got no problem dancing on camera in her bra and panties, then what makes you think she's gonna behave in a public place if she's on the Instagram and on the internet showing off herself in her bra and panties with a pregnant belly? And then, that's basically, that's what I want to talk about, because I don't know why nobody's seen this or mentioned this, but this is her. Bra and panties twerking, pregnant. And I'm like, why is this not I'm not knocking nobody who pregnant and they happy that they pregnant, but if your girl is willing to show off her body like that, that's a sign of more to come. And it goes back to the scripture that says, he who findeth a wife findeth a good thing. You got to be a wife first. You can't convert her to a wife. You can't say, hey, I've been dating you, now you ready to act like a wife. She was being who she has always been. What you saw was before she had her baby. She's twerking with the bra and panties. And that's on Instagram. And it's like, yo, I would have had an issue with that then. Like, yo, you wouldn't even got to phase 2 where you showing yourself looking like, whatever she had on at that place with Usher. Because me and her would have been over. And she would have had to change up right then, or it would have been a wrap. But dude saw this. That didn't get pulled. That video ain't got pulled down. That's on her Instagram. So it's like you can't get mad. Oh, Keke, why don't you stop doing? Why don't you stop being who you are, Keke? That's really the issue. She is who she is. And a lot of women are who they are, and we can't change that. We just gotta, we don't ask why, just respect it. Respect the game for what it is, and you vet the right woman or stand back, stand down.
But the problem is he got with her knowing that's what she does from the giddy up. She's not new to the game. She's an actress. She's an entertainer. And that's the lifestyle she lives. She's always going to do something to get attention. So when this dude got involved with her, and if he's mentally can't handle something like that, he never should have got involved with this woman. He made a bad investment
I
by
agree.
getting involved with women, knowing emotionally and mentally he can't handle a woman like this. Not like that. He shouldn't date nobody in Hollywood. If a Hollywood person shouldn't date regular people because they just don't understand the lifestyle. You
Wow.
understand what I'm saying? Other Hollywood people understand it's part of the show. Thing more likely a show. 95% of their lifestyle is going to be all about show, getting views, getting likes, getting whatever. Because they trying to sell a book, they trying to sell a movie, they trying to promote a song, whatever the case may be. He wasn't ready for that. He just wasn't ready for that, and it's showing.
Marcus, go ahead.
I actually
goes
want
to
to get Sean. I actually want to get Sean at the dating game in here because he hasn't spoken and he's been patiently waiting. And then we're gonna move on to the next topic. So good
Thanks,
evening,
Precious.
Sean. Thank you. Welcome to the panel.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. Hank, thumbs up on the beer game real quick.
Right on, big brother. Right on.
So yeah, I think are we looking for an answer to what L. Turner was saying as far as how are we gonna fix the issue? Because I feel like the answer always goes back to bringing back the nuclear family, but how do we get back to that point? And from listening to this conversation, I'm thinking that it's going to fall on us men to stop picking women like Kiki Palmer that are acting out like that, because it's a buyer's market basically. If you're not buying what's being sold, they're going to have to change what they're selling. They're going to have to lower their price or raise their price or change their inventory. But there's too many men out there that are willing to pay that price for these certain level of women. So things aren't going to change until we start changing ourselves and saying, we're not going to put up with that. We're vetting for the right kind of woman, you know? But the thing is, there's too many guys out there that say, I'll take her. She looks good. I'll take her. Just going off of what she looks like. But it needs to be what she is bringing to the table, what's inside of her, her personality, her femininity, her grace, all of that. So that's why I think that the answer is bringing things back to the nuclear family, a mother, a father, marriage, children. But in order to get there, I think as men, we need to start saying that we're not going to put up with this anymore.
Men created this, to be honest.
Yeah.
They created it.
Because we always say, it's a man's world, and we built this world, but we're allowing these kind of we're allowing these kind of personalities to take root and take over.
Okay. Y'all digging deep tonight. I like it. Sean Bolden wanted to say something, then Marcus, and then we'll move on to the next topic.
Well, it's actually I was saying Marcus because he was I've spoken enough. Marcus, go ahead.
Well, thank you, Marcus.
Yeah, my bad. I just want to say real quick to Hank and OG Bolo, thank you for that whole comment about emotional challenges. I wasn't trying to saying that it was stupid and nothing like that. I just want to get a more understanding of it. But now I did. Thank y'all for that.
You're welcome.
Love this.
Look, can I just say one thing, Precious, before we go on to the next topic?
Yes.
Please? Okay,
Yes,
and
go
I'll make
ahead.
it short, I promise. We need to start putting more quality in us opposed to on us. The brother quoted a scripture where he says that, a man findeth a wife. But for you to find the wife, you got to be a husband. No NBA player gets into the NBA and then starts to play basketball. These qualities and these pinnacles have to be instilled in you prior to becoming a husband, prior to becoming a wife. So you're not stutter stepping. You dig what I'm saying? So like King said, before you go out there and you start trying to get yourself a woman, get to know who you are. There's nothing wrong with taking time to find your trajectory, to find your angle, to find where you are, to get to understand who you want. Because when you know what your worth is, then you can demand your value in your standard.
For reach.
Absolutely. Next subject.
Alrighty. So we have been talking about men and hypergamy and things like that. We're going to get to the last topic, which is the real reason men are single. I saw this clip on Kendra G. You guys know how she has the singles live. And there was a man that came on there talking about why he is single. And as he's talking about why he's single, he is talking mainly from the man's perspective and kind of not blaming the woman, but pretty much giving his outlook on what is out here in these dating streets. So we're going to get into the video and then we're going to talk about it because I have a couple of questions for you guys. And definitely look at the back check, guys. Okay. All right. So we're going to get into this video.
Because you don't want a woman. I mean, you're saying, so the reason you feel like you're single is because you don't want a woman that wants to live above her means? Is there any other reason?
No, I know why I'm single. I'm single because women sit there and talk about what they really want, but they don't really want what they're talking about. They want the wedding, but they don't want the marriage. So you the cousins out there talking about what you want and all that, save it. You don't want it. Because I've been single all these years and I'm looking and I'm hunting. Where y'all at? And I'm talking about these black women. I ain't talking about all these other nationalities. No offense to everybody else. I'm talking about my queens. Where y'all at? These women out here, they be talking that nonsense. They're not really. They're not about that life. They're not really trying to be about nothing. They just talking. They faking it.
Okay. Let me ask you about...
Kendra, all these women out here is talking about six-figure men and this and all that. First of all, say the six figures. Because before I made six figures, I still saved and I invested over $30,000 a year. Ready. I've been on this show. Lord have mercy, I've been waiting on this show. I'll be sitting and listening to women get on here and they bash black men. And I sit there and just accept it and take it for what it is. But I was so happy to get on here so I can tell my story. Y'all got it so confused. It's black men out here ready to be married and ready to settle down. But y'all give us a hard ass time.
Saying, why are you so angry?
I'll tell you why I'm angry. I'm angry because I listen to your show and I hear so many women get on this show and they sit there and say, six figures. First thing they say is six figures. Now, mind you, I didn't make six figures all my life. So you sat there and knocked me because I didn't make the six figures, but I was a good man. Never had kids. Y'all talk about these men out here with all these babies, baby mamas, and things of that nature. I never had any of that. I worked hard. I was in the military. I did 15 years. I did my time. So y'all knocked me because I didn't make the money. So that's why I'm angry, because y'all sat there and put a price on me, on men like me. So that's why I'm upset. Y'all put a price on men like me. And most men would tell you the most disrespectful thing that you can say about a man is a man that can't provide. So when you put a number on a man, that's hurtful. And most men won't tell you that. And I'm going to tell you that's hurtful to us.
Okay. So before we get into the video, I want to ask you guys if you can define single for me. How do you guys define the word single? We'll start with grooming and reviews since you have not spoken yet. Welcome to the panel. How are you?
How about yourself? How are you doing tonight?
Good, thank you. Thanks for being here. So how would you define single?
Oh, that's a tough one, actually.
Is it?
Yeah, because single can be refining yourself, reinventing, be a phoenix born from the ashes, or be alone and miserable. It can go so many different ways. Or just enjoying your life and exploring different options, new adventures, new careers, maybe going to the gym and getting fit, or just reconnecting like I just did recently with God. It could be a lot of different options out there. So single is a word to me. I'm not single. I have my friends. I have people that are for me. If I need somebody, pick it up the phone and call somebody. Simple.
Okay, I appreciate that answer. Sean, at the dating game, how about for you? How do you define single?
Well, I appreciate Pete's what he was saying about how he feels what single is, but like I take a bit more of a realistic stance on most things like that. And single means, you're by yourself. You're doing what you got to do to make it to the next day, basically. If we're talking about dating, there's no side chicks, there's no maybe girlfriend, there's no working towards a girlfriend. It's just you and against the world. Now, sure, I mean, like what Pete was saying is valid as far as if you got friends, you're not single, you got family, you're not single. But I think what you're asking when you say, like, what does it mean to be single is there's nobody else romantically in your life. You're ready to find that person if you're looking. And if you're not looking, you're fine with it.
Okay. Thank you. Bolo TV, how would you define single?
Again, the context, right? If you're talking relationship wise, not committed.
Mm-hmm. Okay. El Turner, how would you define single?
Well, as it pertains to relationships, because so many people, and from my experience, women, a lot of women don't believe that they are in a relationship with you until y'all married. You can start out, you can get in a relationship, they'll tell you, oh, this is yours, it's yours, I'll never do this or that. But the minute they get caught, they want to bring you back down to earth and say, well, you never put a ring on it, we're not married, so I'm not obligated to do anything. So I meet the world where the world meets me at, and I take it from perspective. Until you marry, you're single. No matter what a woman says, thanks to a relationship. Until you put a ring on it, because there's too many women out there who believe that they're not entitled, they're not obligated to you by nothing but a ring, which is superficial. But that's what I believe single is. Until you marry somebody, you could want it to be something more, but you single if you ain't got no ring. She can leave tomorrow, and she can leave with the ring. But that's what single is, in my opinion.
Okay, I appreciate that. We're gonna go up here to Ojore.
I think single mean alone. In the context that gentleman was using it, when he said he was single, he was alone. I don't know if he was lonely, but he was definitely alone. And in response to Mr. Turner, if females are not with you until you're married, then you ain't never been cheated on. How about that? You ain't never been cheated on. You were single. So
wait, what happened?
I said if women are not with you until they're married, I said then technically she was never cheated on, regardless. She was always single.
Gotcha.
So if she's not married, you can't be cheated on if you're not married, right? You're always single. So just for the ladies that believe that, just know you have never been cheated on. If you ain't married, you've been single.
Okay, good point. Sean Bolden.
I'm just a bachelor. Oh man, to be honest with you, the question is really subjective. There is no real answer to it, and the problem is that we try to find it one way and never really get to the context of the person who we're defining it with, and that's really the most important. What is the definition between you and that person? Single is unattached. If we're going to get on try to define it, I would say being unattached. Now that is unattached emotionally, unattached physically, attached spiritually, in my opinion. Unfortunately, a lot of people don't prescribe to that definition because their context is different, and there we have complications and relationships and the failures that we engage in this day and age.
Okay, so unattached. All right, Scam Likely, how about for you? How would you define single?
Not in a committed relationship.
All right, short and sweet. Hank, how about for you? How would you define single?
Yeah, that's probably the only time I'm gonna agree with Scam.
Not in a committed relationship.
Yeah.
Welcome to the panel, Black Men Unfiltered. It's great to have you here. I appreciate you for joining. We finally made it.
Right, yeah.
Thanks for joining. I didn't know if you wanted to add something to this question that I just posed as far as how do you define single. But again, thank you for coming to the panel. But right now we're talking about how do you define single. Did you see the video that I played? I definitely will play it again
Mhm.
after this. After
Yeah,
this
I've been
question.
watching. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So what would you like to add? How would you define it?
I think I'll agree with Hink and Scam as well.
Mhm.
But I'd also like to just add a little part A under there. It is a man who is prepared to take on a single man is a person who is preparing himself to take on the responsibility of a husband and a nuclear family. So I think a single man is a man that's preparing himself, not a man that's not preparing himself. So there's a difference between a single man who's a goofball and a single man who is preparing himself.
I was going to ask you. So what do you call the man that's not preparing themselves? But you said a goofball.
Yeah, a goofball, goofy, not relatable, don't know how to talk to women, never been around women. You know, he would be the one that is telling the corny jokes, nobody's laughing. You know, two left feet. You know, those guys who are not preparing themselves mentally, physically, spiritually for anything. They just, and women look at them and be like, okay, who's next? So I think there's a difference between a single man who is preparing himself and a single man who is a goofball.
Hey man, I'm not gonna let you talk about Scam like that. He has feelings.
Oh damn!
I mean, he has feelings. Ain't that right?
Damn.
All right. Before I play this video again, I wanted to read something because it says 31% of adult men say they'd commit to a person they were not in love with, as long as she had all the other attributes they were looking for in a mate. And 21% said they'd commit under those same circumstances to somebody they weren't sexually attracted to. The equivalent numbers for women were far lower. Quote unquote, give me a friend I get along with, have good sex with, and is willing to compromise, and I'll build the love over time, one man in a Colorado computer instructor said. So before I play the clip, would you guys agree with this statistic that for adult men, you guys would commit to someone that you're not necessarily in love with or not necessarily sexually attracted to?
Can I pop in real quick to make a quick comment?
Yep.
I think men typically, we're willing to make the best of a situation. It may not be perfect, but we'll make it work if we see it working in our favor. Where it seems women, they tend to look for perfection or to check off all the boxes that are important to them. But the men will say like, okay, I'm getting 6 out of 10 things from her, maybe even 4 out of 10 things from her, but I can make that work for me, you know? I think we're a lot more reasonable when it comes to relationships in that sense.
Somebody made the point earlier today, I can't remember who, that we sacrifice a bit more significantly than women. And that is a point of view, that's the point of view that those stats display, is sacrifice that we're willing to make for the practicality or the overall benefit of the family or the relationship, whereas women often don't tend to make that sacrifice on behalf of someone other than themselves.
Yeah, and speaking of that sacrifice, I saw a video a while back, but I just want to take a quick poll in the room of all the gentlemen here. If you're with someone you care about, how many of you are willing to lay your life down for that woman that you care about?
Absolutely, right now.
That's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah,
that's what you would have.
Right. And in this video that I was watching, it was, you know, this guy going up to people in the streets, and the women all said that no, they wouldn't. They want to be the one that lives, you know. But all the men said that they are ready to throw their life away for that person they care about. And I think it's a huge difference between men and women, you know. But I've told women in my life that I don't know where it comes from, but we're all kind of programmed that way to want to provide, protect, provision, and be ready to throw our life away so they can continue living. I don't think it's unfair.
Say you don't know where it comes from?
I'm sorry?
You say you don't know where it comes from for you guys to be wired that way?
Well, I mean, I know it's a biological imperative, but the thing is, I'm trying to think back, like, I don't think I was ever taught this from my father. Now, just so you guys know, like my parents are still together. My parents are still have been married for 40 plus years. I'm about to be 40, so I know it's been longer than that. But my dad sat down and said, look, Sean, if you're in a situation where there's danger abound, you got to lay your life down for that woman that you're with. It's just kind of baked into us. That's what I'm saying. I don't know where it comes from, but it's baked in software.
It's a societal norm. Men, like you said, like Sean said, men have to sacrifice, and it gives us purpose. We are not making this money. We are not graduating and getting these degrees and getting these big houses and these nice cars and have nothing to show for it. Your goal is to have a family and somebody to pass these things down to. So you're willing to sacrifice with somebody who meets you at least at a level where you're comfortable and you're compatible and you can be happy. It doesn't have to be 10 out of 10, but you just want to have somebody that you're compatible with and you can get along with and gives you peace. So we're willing to sacrifice for that. But this is what men have to do. This is what gives men purpose. And men always have a standard. Women can seem to adjust their status, their standing. You don't have to cook. You don't have to know how to clean. You don't have to know how to do girls' hair. These things are no longer necessary for you to be a woman. What defines a man is always the same. You have to be able to protect. You have to be able to provide, and you have to be able to be there for that person. That's your job, and your job is also to take a bullet or get your ass killed to protect them. That's your job, and that's never going to change for a man because that's what defines a man.
To add to what.
But go ahead. Let me just say the scam to add to what you're saying. To add to what you're saying, your vibe attracts your tribe. There's no way in hell I'm not going to have standards that my wife ain't going to live up to. That can be. You dig what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, it's a mirror image of myself. You dig what I'm saying? So if there's certain things that I have to live up to, there's certain things that she has to live up to. That's how we keep this going. You know what I'm saying? It's about both of us making this work. It ain't just, there will be times when, I might carry 80% and she might carry 20. There may be times when it's vice versa. But at the end of the day, we both got to be in this 100%. 100%. Now, if it's a situation where she can't cook, then that's different. And I don't want to get locked into, gender, position. Because if my wife can't cook and I cook better, guess who's cooking? Me. If she fixes cars better than I do, guess who's fixing the cars? Her. You dig what I'm saying? It depends on the relationship you're in, but there has to be a standard that both of you hold each other to, because it's a spiritual thing, man. The reason why we do what we do is because, again, a woman will never love a man as much as a man loves a woman. It's impossible. She's not. She is not going to sacrifice her life. We do. It calls for us to do that. When you meet that wife, not your girlfriend, your wife.
Well, the interesting thing that you said is it does apply to girlfriends at times, and that's an unfortunate reality. And the other thing is that women will sacrifice their lives, but just not for us. They will sacrifice it for the children. And so when I make that comparison that you brought it up, by the way, Bolo, I remember where it came from now. And but when you I make that point of view all the time. I say you want to say that we're equivalent, but we're not. We're not sitting there making the same sacrifices. How you sacrifice and how we sacrifice for you and how you sacrifice for us are totally different. And that needs to be very clearly identified in order to be able to practice what you just was sharing. Because what you was just sharing is great, but it does take practice. It's not just something that comes naturally. It's sometimes that is conditioned, sometimes that is learned, sometimes that it's still. So it needs to be practiced in both genders, because all men don't always sacrifice their lives in the manner that we are describing
Absolutely.
either. Clear.
Can I interject on that question too?
Nowadays, women are trying to train their.
Go ahead.
Nowadays, women are trying to train their husbands and love their children. Opposed.
You asked the question,
I think
bro.
that there's
a.
Is there a lag?
Yeah, there's a lag. There's a lag. Well, to Sean, to what you were saying, in this societal norm, women are trying to train their husbands and love their children when it should be the opposite way. It should be wives, women loving their husbands and training their children, and they have it backward. So it's up to us as men to get our balls back and straighten it out. We have to understand that we can't be afraid to do the right thing. You dig what I'm saying? At the end of the day, you have to stand up for what is right. And a lot of us are letting a lot of things slide by. And if it continues to slide by, it's hard to stop them 10 years later, and you've been letting them do it. So it again, Hank said this a long time ago. It starts with you knowing you. If I have $100,000 diamond, I did the homework on it, I got it appraised, I got the card. I'm not going to sell it to Precious. If Precious come to me and say, I'm going to give you $50,000, I'm not taking it. No, I got $100,000. Either you're going to give me what it's worth or I'm not taking it. We have to start being patient and saying, I know she banging, but there's other things that go further than that. So again, I understand your point, and your point is very valid, but it starts with us. We have to put our foot down. We have to draw that line and say, we ain't dealing with this no more. I don't have to, these women that we're talking about, what you focus on is what you will be, right? If you continue to focus on the woman you don't want, then guess what you're going to attract? Your vibe will attract your tribe. Understand?
I agree.
Ain't no dusty woman going to approach none of these men on the stage.
I think
ain't no dusty woman going to approach any man on this stage.
I think we all.
So the point that I'm making is, it starts with us.
I'm in agreement. I think we all, for primarily, we're all in agreement to that. One of the words that you said that I will add to, you said that we need to. I forget the word that you said, but I'm going to add to it. We need to have discipline. In addition to, if you could correct me, Bolo, or help me out here. You just mentioned it, that us men need to do.
But we need
patience. You said patience.
We put more,
it's
we put more quality,
discipline.
Patience, put more quality honesty in us. Right. The math doesn't add, right? It's like when you do a crime that takes 10 seconds and you get 50 years. Years of your life is gone for 10 seconds. So the math has to stop adding. It has to start mathing. So when we're chasing that climax, that's only going to last 30 seconds. And you're tied to this woman who had that fat behind for 21 years. 21 years. It doesn't make sense. So what we need to start learning is start teaching these their value. Because if you knew your value, you wouldn't go.
Yeah,
I hear that. L. Turner, I know you wanted to get in there.
Such
is he going in?
Women, the same thing with women. If they knew their value, they wouldn't deal with such men. But if you don't know what you're worth, how can you demand your value? You can't.
Very true.
Agree.
L. Turner?
Scam mute. We don't want her to eat you suck on your goddamn popsicle.
Yeah, oh, they're just sucking away.
Oh.
L. Turner?
I want to say the question. Initially, he was asking a question about where do men get their ideologies about being the protector, so to speak, to the woman, how we lay our lives down. And I think it's instinctive. I think it comes from, like, I was kind of in a situation with a single mom. She was married but then divorced. And I just remember growing up and my mother always telling me to protect my sisters. I got two younger sisters. And then I had female cousins that I would even fight for because, they were real pretty. And it was dudes always some dude trying to push up on her or holler at her. So from like 5th grade up, I was fighting and getting in scuffles with dudes, and they knew to respect my sisters and my cousins. They never really tried them because of me and my brother. Not saying we was the toughest guys, but we from the projects, and that's what we knew. As long as you stand your ground, you're gonna be respected. So I instinctively grew up as a protector, but the problem occurred to me when my sisters and all my cousins, they grew up and they started picking certain kind of dudes that was from the street element too. And a lot of them dudes, people don't fight no more. You know, niggas, dudes picking up guns quick. Pride could be the issue. And a lot of guys is not gonna lay down from no hand to hand scrap with a dude, brother or friend or nobody. So, you know, I just want to bring this up in the panel and see what y'all thought of it. I was in a scenario where my sister was dating he was an okay dude, but he was a street dude. And I've seen several occasions where this dude just pulls out his weapons and just they laying around the tables. And so I know what kind of guy he is, you know. And one night, you know, she caught him doing something and she went off like, oh, I'm gonna kill him, you know, I'm gonna do this and that. And I said, don't fight him because if he come home drunk, blah, 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 it's gonna be tough. He might fight back. And I'm not there. True enough, it went down. And my mother, the first thing she said, she came to me like, you supposed to defend your sister. You ain't gonna fight on way for your sister. And you know, it hurt my pride as a man because for the first time I was perceived as weak. And it was like, well, my dude don't fight no way. He shoots. And if I roll up on him, he tells me, well, your sister, she was hitting me in my face and doing all this and that. And it's like, well, I'm instinctively her protector as her brother. But this is a situation where my life now could be on the line trying to protect somebody who obviously might be right back in the gym with this guy. She might still be with him. And that's when I learned it's like to gracefully bow out of situations with people, period. Like when you say something about laying your life on the line for a woman, that situation varies because there's a lot of women who choose wrong and who will choose the wrong guy. You trying to intervene, you see them in an argument and you get in there and all of a sudden your life become on a line. I'm from Chicago, Illinois. I'm in Chicago and I know all about that. So it's just my piece on that, man. It really struck a nerve. I want to see what y'all thought of that.
You have to, you definitely.
What I think real fast.
Oh yeah, go ahead, Pink. I got you. Go ahead. After I go.
Thicker than blood, dog. So you in trouble with that shit.
Yep. Exactly. Because you have to be careful. Go ahead. Say it again, Hank.
Cum is thicker than blood.
That's
wow.
Yeah, think about that. Let that sink in for a second.
Wow.
And
Cum is thicker than blood. Wow.
Exactly. And you have to also be careful because, again, like he just said, that we're paying attention to detail. He said he told her, don't do that. And if he comes in drunk, don't do that because he may fight you back. Right?
Yep.
Now, when he came through the door, it went down. So now you're between the rock and the hard place because now I got to go over here like my mama taught me to do and defend my sister, whether she right or wrong, after I just told her 30 minutes ago, don't do that. Now you put my life in danger because now if he drunk, I come through the door and he may shoot me. So now I'm putting myself in position to be deleted because I told you 30 minutes ago, that's the situation. See, submission ain't just for married people. Submission is for your relatives too. If I tell my sister don't do something and she know I got the best at heart for my best intentions for her, she needs to shut her damn mouth and go do what the hell I just told her to do.
Yeah.
Because what I'm saying to you is going to save your life. Shut your ass up and sit your ass down. And if you can't do that, get your ass in your car and come over here. But you're not going to put me in danger when I got a wife and kids over here and I just told your ass to sit the fuck down.
Well, bro, that's exactly the problem.
That's period, point blank.
That's exactly the problem. I think Miss Precious, she paid to play the video where a woman was saying how you can't tell her what to wear. Well, when that man goes out with you, his job is to protect you and make sure you come back. He brought you out there. Y'all out there enjoying yourself. You putting him in a situation now where other men are now going to test his gangster.
Exactly.
Let me see if this man, and they might not have nothing to live for.
Exactly.
They don't mind going to jail.
I tell the women in my family the same thing, including my daughters. I don't give a damn how grown you get. You will never be around me inappropriately dressed. Because what's going to happen, let me tell you what happened to me one time in New Orleans. I went to Mardi Gras because I'm from Louisiana, guys. And I'm at Mardi Gras My wife and I are walking down the sidewalk. A guy grabs my wife's hand and yanks her into the corner with him. I can't say what happened next because we live. But it wasn't good for her.
Can you paraphrase? I'm curious.
Steel.
That's okay.
I'll say this: steel on flesh.
Ooh, all right, got it.
You should have just left that alone, bro. You
Right?
shouldn't.
Like
left that-
Medea said, he
So
had his
my thing is this: I don't play with when it comes to that. So and my wife was not inappropriately dressed, but you have to be mindful. There was a moment where she needed to be protected because he was drunk. He was really, really high and drunk, right? But now let's switch it up. If I'm going somewhere with my wife, her ass out, her breasts out, her titties out, she's a magnet for attention.
Mhm.
And then a dude come over, hey, God, come here. Now you have put me in a bad situation with your titties and your ass. Now I got to do something to this man that I didn't come out here to do. I came out here to have a good time. Now I got to take care of this man because this man has disrespected you and came over and put his hands on you and said something to you. I think that men, we've gotten to a point where we've conformed to the world. We've conformed to the world and what the world says we should be. And like Bolo said a few minutes ago, we got to get our balls back. Because a lot of men that laid their balls under the bed in the chest, put a lock on them, and ain't seen them in 12 years. We got to get our balls back.
Well, I got one.
Let me tag in.
A lot of
You, let
men
me say this.
huh?
No, that was Bolo trying.
No,
to
let me just say this really quick. Let me say this. What I would say is this. At the end of the day, we wouldn't have even been out. If my wife comes down them stairs, dressed like she's going on the street, turn back around. Either change or I'm the only one going out.
Exactly.
Period. That's how it's going down.
Let me say
Now, if
this,
she
and you're
doesn't understand, first of all, a woman.
You're
Go ahead,
absolutely.
Sean.
Your microphone went out.
No, nah. He was just lending
go ahead,
me
Sean.
space. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Both of what y'all saying, and all I was going to say is some men left their balls in somebody's mouth, and it ain't gender related, unfortunately.
Terrible.
Well, see, that's the problem. The problem is, now, this conversation, like the way, like if people just came in right now and heard the conversation, it sounds like a very egotistical conversation, and it's not. It really isn't. This is about what Hank said earlier, intelligence. You dig what I'm saying? We, as men, I say this all the time. Men, we see things in general. Women see things specific. And the reason why we see things in general is because we have to make sure that danger don't get to our door. So we have to have so many different hats. Now, women see things, specific because we're scanning the area. In the computer, we are the scanner. We scan every virus that comes in. So we have to understand that there are principles that we have to stand by. There are principles as a man that God has set up for you to stand by. And you can't let no one, I don't care if it's your children or your wife, allow you to cross that line. You have to stand that line. You have to. So if she's dressed a certain way, we were looking at the Puerto Rican Day Parade. And she said to me, why are these men acting the way they act? And I said, listen, these men have no right to grab these women. But at the same time, look at how these women are dressed. They're not grabbing the ones that are dressed modestly. They're grabbing the ones that are dressed where you can see everything that they got on. Now, again, it's not justified. I understand it. But at the end of the day, to every action, there's a reaction. So if you're going to dress like a police officer, when someone is getting robbed, they're going to run to you and say, help. That's what they're going to do. You can't then say, hey, why are you coming to me? Well, you dress like a police officer. So in my mind, in my brain, I look for social tags. And when a dog is chasing me, I'm looking for a car, a fence, something to jump on. So when I'm in my horniness, I'm looking for that shorty that's dressed hornily. Just made up that word, guys.
Yeah.
And that's what they gravitate towards. Now, with BMU situation, I was drunk. So we gotta start looking at each other and saying, yo, you know what? The reason why that woman put that man in that situation was because he allowed it. If he would have shut that down before he got out the house, none of that would have happened. But he allowed it. He allowed it. He let her go out.
And you know what?
Or
Bolo?
you say, we ain't going nowhere.
Right. And you know what, Bolo? These weak ass men not gonna do it today. See, you don't have men that's gonna stand up and say that. Most men right now are gonna say, sit down and tell your wife, you look great, baby. We want to go out together. We want to have a good time. I know your breast is out, baby. I love you. You look beautiful in anything you wear. She can look like the Joker that just got a goddamn hormone shot. And you'll be like, yes, baby, that makeup is looking good. Your titties are looking amazing. Look at that ass and that dress, right? Weak ass men are not going to say that. Weak ass men are going to want to sit down and have a conversation instead of be direct with your woman. And you can't listen to your woman all the time. Let me tell you something. I did with my wife one time. I'm gonna be vulnerable here for a second. My wife, we had a dog, and the dog wasn't worth a damn. So I got rid of the damn dog because the dog was a stray anyway. They wanted to nurse the damn dog back to health. So the dog ended up, we ended up giving the dog to another person, right? I told my wife, I said, baby, that dog was kind of sick when he got here. You may not want to get go spend all this money on some dogs, right? And bring them over here right now because you don't know what that dog, we need to get the yard together. Ain't nothing gonna be wrong with the yard. We good. I said, baby, I'm gonna tell you one more time. The yard needs to be treated before you bring in an expensive dog and you're gonna spend that kind of money. She said, well, baby, I read about it. I said, you know what? You're absolutely correct. I said, go ahead and buy the dog. My wife went and bought that expensive ass dog, brought that damn dog here. After about 6 to 8 weeks, the dog started coughing. Then the dog leaned over. Then the dog started bleeding out his ass in his mouth. I said, I wonder what's wrong with this damn dog. Took the dog to the vet. He had parvo because I told you to treat the yard. Now, since then, I don't have no more problems because now sometimes you got to stop and let people learn on their own. And so now I don't have that problem anymore. Now is, baby, what do you think? Mm-hmm. Baby, what do you think? Do you think I should eat? Right? Because sometimes life just is the best teacher. And so what I'm saying, so I said that to say this. Punk ass men, I'm gonna say this, punk ass men, we call them Pams. Punk ass men, Pams, are out here allowing their wives to dress the way they want to dress, talk the way they want to talk. There's women out here that will cuss out another grown ass man right in front of their man. And their man sitting right there. Go on, girl. Cuss his ass out. We need to, again, our balls are somewhere. I don't know if they put them on a ship with NASA and send them up to Mars. But men got to find them nuts, and they got to find them now. Because what's going to happen is women are going to think they're more powerful. Women right now think they level up to men and will not go out tonight at 1 o'clock in the morning and walk down an alley by themselves. But they're tough, right? Because we're making them tough. We put them on a pedestal. Baby, you can get what you want. We're a bunch of fucking yes men. Yes, baby. How do I look in this dress? Great, baby. How do I look today? Yes, baby. Can we go here? Yes, baby. I'm going to spend on my makeup. Yes, baby. You're saying it because most men are scared. They're not going to get no, let's be real. I'm going to land my plane here. Most men are scared they're not going to get no ass. They're scared that women not going they're going to make them walk on eggshells. They woman not going to talk to them. We have to get to a point in Bernie Mac's voices. We don't give a fuck. We got to get to a point where we say we don't give a fuck.
Black man, you are absolutely correct. And the reason why I said the balls are probably in somebody's mouth because I hear it coming out of the mouth when they start talking.
Yeah, all these men talking about sit down and talk to your wife and tell her what you see what's on her mind. What the hell? She telling you what's on her mind when she come down the stairs with her titties and her ass out. She telling you right now. I used to be
with respect, bro. It's start with respect.
You should
don't have it. We don't have it
with me. Yeah, I want to hear it. My sister took my daughter to get a prom dress. My daughter came in here 2 days before prom and put that motherfucker on. She came out the room. She said, Daddy, how this look? I said, I hope you got the fucking receipt. I hope you got the fucking receipt.
Yes, Sean. Yes, Sean.
My question for you is, why do you think as a woman that so many women are so reckless? Simple question, I think.
What they wear or in general?
All of it. All of it. What they wear, how they talk to people, how they interact with people. You know, why so many so reckless?
I can answer that simply. There are no consequences for their action.
Exactly.
Well, no. I want to.
Sean,
I
when did
know
your name
that, but
become
I'm saying
Precious?
I want to hear from.
Oh, he was talking about.
I want to hear from Precious.
He talking about balls in the man's mouth. He sound like he crossing over.
He's stupid as hell.
I mean, what goes through y'all's mind to be so reckless?
I honestly think that it a lot of times it comes from not having a father in a home. Honestly, I truly think that. I had a father growing up. Growing up, I couldn't just wear what I wanted. My mom had me in clothes that were like 2 or 3 sizes too big for me. They wanted to cover me. They wanted to keep me from being seen in a certain light. And I had parents that did that for me. Now, if I didn't have parents that did that for me or didn't think ahead in my ignorance or in my adolescence, then I would have just had the reins to just do whatever. There are some parents that don't check their children and what they wear. Believe me, I see it. I see the kids and their friends and what they have on and how, the tank tops with the midriff and the bellies, that's like the standard shirt now. You got a Winnie the Pooh shirt. You ain't even got a full shirt no more. Okay, it's Winnie the Pooh styled out here now. So women are wearing, or young girls, not even women, but the older women aren't really dressing, for an example, for the younger woman, but they have these styles and they think it's cute. They think it's trendy. And they're not thinking that somebody's across the street could be looking at them in a provocative way, in an inappropriate way. They're not, as kids, they're not thinking like that. And so I'm grateful that I had parents that covered me when I needed covering and that I didn't know that I needed covering. So that's one of the main reasons why I think that women are just out of control, because they don't have nobody to put a lid on it. They don't have anybody to say, sit down, you're not going to wear that. I don't care how mad you get. You could cry all you want. You could cry all the way up the stairs to your room, because we're not doing that over here at 112. We're not doing that over here.
So-
It just wasn't tolerated.
So, taking men out of the equation for this particular situation, how do women fix this issue? How would they go about fixing it?
Women have to fix the issue of being reckless by first sitting with themselves and their trauma. They just do. I wasn't always this put together woman. I had to sit with my trauma. I had to go to therapy. I had to seek God's face. I had to do those things. I had to practice those things. Because once women, our brains don't really develop after a certain age until we do something different, till we change our mind about some things. And so once women truly change their mind, like you're really not going to get these modern women to change their mind about marriage. Are you? Do you guys feel like it's a winning battle right now, or do you feel like they done got their mind made up?
They do what they want to do.
Exactly.
It's a losing battle. Come on, let's be honest. It's a losing battle right now.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. They're not changing their mind about them things. And again, I had 2 parents growing up. My parents are still married. They just celebrated 35 years of marriage last Sunday. So they continue, even with us not being in the house, they're still continuing that example. They're still, being the covering that me and my brother need to be that example. So if a woman don't change her mind, she's going to be stuck in the sunken place of thinking that time is going to be on her side, and it's not.
If I may say something really
It's not going to
fast.
be on her side.
I think there's. Oh, go ahead.
And Precious,
Go ahead,
sorry
Chief.
to interrupt real quick, but I just want to say congratulations for your
Yeah,
parents
for sure.
and that marriage. That's amazing. I congratulate.
Let me throw a little monkey wrench in this. When I first got into the country, I saw a lot of young ladies being pregnant in high school. Now I'm older. I'm thinking, how does a kid raise a kid? Let's think about that for a second.
Yeah, they're on the same school bus together.
Exactly. And here's the second one I'm going to throw out. Gym. They say guys are pigs at the gym. Well, why are you coming goddamn fucking naked at the gym? Think about it for a
That's
minute.
point.
You want
You
some?
don't wear sweatpants and a t-shirt no more. Now they want to have the two-piece matching.
Two-piece?
With the sweat, with the tights all up in your ass, like
Right, right. And you running
you
on a
don't look
treadmill.
rugged. You don't look rugged no more. There is no
Like-
more rugged look.
Yeah.
The girl next to me on the treadmill today, she had more makeup, perfume, her ass. I can
At
see
the gym?
literally everything. I'm Jim. I swear on my mom's life. I looked over again after the treadmill. I'm sweating, and she's like, fixing her makeup. I'm like, you do know you're at the gym to sweat.
Oh wow.
Not to go on a fantasy show, whatever you want to call it. Then they say men are pigs or going after them. But why don't you cover up a little bit? Let us chase you again.
He's right about the gym. He's right about the gym. Women do wear perfume at the gym for whatever reason. I don't know, because you're gonna sweat and it's gonna stink now. But and then some of the stuff they wear, because like Black Man knows, I'm developing my own athletic wear clothing line, right? And listen, when I do focus groups, the stuff women say they want is ridiculous. I'm like, why don't you just go in a bra and panties? Save yourself the money.
Exactly.
Like save yourself the money. The stuff they say they want is ridiculous. I'm like, I'm not making that. Like my conscience won't allow me to put pen to paper and draw anything like that. Like, no. And you complain about guys looking at you. Well, put some clothes on.
So that's why I'm saying, go to a gym where all the men are gay.
I don't think that exists.
Undiagnosed mental illness.
Just be
I lived in Atlanta. That gym does exist, unfortunately.
I feel
go to a gym where all the guys gay. Ain't nobody gonna look at you. They're gonna say, "Gerd, run, bitch." That's what they're gonna say to you.
There's a gym on Piedmont.
They do have women only gyms, so they do have women only gyms.
Yeah, they do.
And why they don't go? You know what I'm saying? Hank? Why they don't go over there? They over there complaining at the men staring at their asses.
Because the women are grabbing on them too, Black man.
But you
They
know
ain't
what?
safe there either.
You know what though? You can't go to you know what, Hank? I disagree with you, Hank, for the first time here. You know why? Because these all women gyms are not really all women gyms. Now you got niggas in there with them women with wigs.
Yeah, and you
So
got
now,
you
so
got
either way they go, they're gonna be in there.
Yeah, you got gay
Okay.
women, you got studs and the trends, whatever's.
Yeah,
they're in there too.
yeah, they're gonna be in there too.
I still feel our society would be different if kids stopped having kids back 20, 30 years ago when we were still kids. I remember playing Pokemon. I wasn't worried about getting laid at a time. And now I see it's even worse now. And I remember when I was with my ex, her daughter, she started to step up to a man like, you do know you're going to get knocked the fuck out if you go against him. You're 120, he's 350. Let's see who's going to win that fight. They don't back off. Like, seriously, like, you're going to go blow for blow with a man. You're not going to win that fight, most likely.
It's called delusion.
Yeah.
Why
But
is
a
the
lot of
collective
men
of
was
women?
taught. A lot of men was taught to get their asses whooped though, because I don't know if y'all saw the video that went viral. There was a girl. They were sitting on the bleachers at school, and this little boy. The girl kept talking, and the boy was like, "Go on, move." And she punched that boy in the face about 12 times. He did nothing but just sit there and let her do it. He allowed her to just beat him in the head. And he probably was taught by his mama, don't you defend yourself. If a girl hits you, you let her hit you, and then you move on.
He should have threw her ass down the bleachers.
But here's the issue
exactly.
that more 95% chances men get more abused by a woman than a woman get abused by a man. And we're just scared to go say it out loud. I got abused by my girl. Or
You
this
don't
and
get
that.
laughed at.
Pretty much. I was a victim. My ex threw a garden scissor at my
I
ass.
don't know about throw her down the bleachers, but he should have at least gripped her up a little. He should have at least gave her one of them.
I mean, he was just sitting like this. I mean, she was rapping his ass.
She gonna be Superwoman that day. She gonna see Superwoman that day.
All right, so I'm gonna play the video again, and then we're gonna get into the question. Without blaming women, why can't you keep a woman, or why are you single? So I'm going to play the video again because he goes in on the women on this video, but we want to get into the real reason why men are single and see if we can kind of dig deep on that. So we're going to play this one more time.
I mean, you're saying, so the reason you feel like you're single is because you don't want a woman that wants to live above her means? Is there any other reason?
No, I know why I'm single. I'm single because women sit there and talk about what they really want, but they don't really want what they're talking about. They want the wedding, but they don't want the marriage. So you the cousins out there talking about what you want and all that, save it. You don't want it. Because I've been single all these years and I'm looking and I'm hunting. Where y'all at? And I'm talking about these black women. I ain't talking about all these other nationalities. No offense to everybody else. But I'm talking about my queens. Where y'all at? These women out here, they be talking that nonsense. They're not really. They're not about their life. They're not really trying to be about nothing. They just talking. They faking it.
Okay. Let me
All
ask
you
you
women
about
Kendra, all these women out here is talking about 6-figure men and this and all that. First of all, say the 6 figures. Because before I made 6 figures, I still saved and I invested over $30,000 a year. Ready. I've been on this show. Lord have mercy, I've been waiting on this show. I've been sitting and listening to women get on here and they bash black men. And I sit there and accept it and take it for what it is. But I was so happy to get on here so I can tell my story. Y'all got it so confused. It's black men out here ready to be married and ready to settle down, but y'all give us a hard ass time.
saying, why are you so angry?
I'll tell you why I'm angry. I'm angry because I listen to your show and I hear so many women get on this show and they sit there and say 6 figures. First thing they say is 6 figures. Now, mind you, I didn't make 6 figures all my life. So you sat there and knocked me because I didn't make the 6 figures, but I was a good man. Never had kids. Y'all talk about these men out here with all these babies, baby mamas, things of that nature. I never had any of that. I worked hard. I was in the military. I did 15 years. I did my time. So y'all knocked me because I didn't make the money. So that's why I'm angry, because y'all sat there and put a price on me, on men like me. So that's why I'm upset. Y'all put a price on men like me. And most men would tell you the most disrespectful thing that you can say about a man is a man that can't provide. So when you put a number on a man, that's hurtful. And most men won't tell you that. And I'm going to tell you that's hurtful to us.
Might I respond?
So the threat. So we hear him speaking about women and how they didn't choose him because of the money that he didn't make. Let me take this away. Go ahead. You can respond to that, and then we can go into the question.
He proved everything that I was talking about earlier.
Mm-hmm.
The Talking Point Mafia is going to beat you to death with the 1946 thing of protect and provide, protect and divide, big money, big money, big money. Women want men that they're attracted to, and they want men that they can communicate with. When you get a woman, you have to spend time with that woman. I mean, she has to be sitting on the couch with you, spending 20 minutes, 20 hours, and even 20 years. This man is what you call a negator. Confidence, personality, conversation, those things attract women. Or, just like this dude, he went and got the money and still got the same problem. But you're going to see this very often because the Talking Point Mafia keeps recycling the same thing throughout men. The same thing. Now the maddest ones are going to be the ones making the money. They're going to be madder because they ain't got nothing to hide behind. The broke ones can easily say, well, I ain't making this. But the whole 6-figure thing is a lie. Whatever city you live in, go to the 1-2 bedroom apartments. You'll see a regular dude, works at AutoZone. He might be married. And you got a woman that's almost good looking as me. I'm just saying.
A woman that looked like you. So let me say this. Let me add to this.
Almost as good looking as me.
That's good. Okay, let me say this real quick. And that same woman that's married to that guy at AutoZone, because I want to catch you up to the times here. The same woman that's married to that man at AutoZone, if an opportunity presented herself where she was
Not true.
If the same woman, I had a white man tell you that he racist yesterday, I'm gonna have a hoe come tell you she a hoe.
And you had that, and you even had the conversation.
No. Listen, yeah, you got to have conversation with people. I mean, listen. My thing is this.
I'll talk to that one. I'll talk to you about that one in the back, though.
There are women out here right now that will tell you, Scam. I myself have heard a woman say, "I got something." I told my husband the other day, if he don't get his money up, I got something that'll sell when cotton won't sell.
Are you married, sir? You're married, right?
This woman was married. I'm talking about a married woman.
Black man, you're married, right?
Yes.
Is your wife leaving you for a man who makes more money?
No.
Then what are we talking about?
But hold on, so we only take one instance when I'm telling you what the majority of things are. Women love fucking money. And I don't know why you so delusional. You're so delusional and don't believe that women don't like money. These motherfuckers love money. They want money. Some women out here are not as good as you think they are. The majority of these women out here are used to be hoes, are current hoes, or suppressed hoes. And in the minority of the women are the real precious and security boss.
You're proving my point even more.
No,
That's all you're doing is proving
I'm
my
not
point.
proving a point. I'm telling you. So
Yes,
you're
you are.
saying we keep thinking that every woman's the same.
Did I say every woman was the same?
Okay, then. So if we agree that they're not the same, then you must also agree that there are women out here that will be with a man just to have a little security, but when an opportunity presents itself for her to move up, because we always say women are hypergamous.
Then
So
why are you married? Then why are you married? Because obviously that you're saying even you, because all the women's.
I didn't say all.
No, make $2 more an hour.
I didn't say. Hold on. I didn't say all. Don't ruin. Don't twist my words. Don't twist my words. I said the majority of women out here want that bag from that man. The minority of women like the real precious security boss, my wife, Hink's fiance.
Well,
all
why
these
are we
women,
talking about
they
the
are
rest
the
of them?
minority. What I'm
Right,
telling
man,
you.
those women don't like these men, or they either don't want the man.
Okay.
Or they're unmarriable.
The
There's
real
nothing to
question
talk
asks the
about with
question
those women.
without blaming the women. Let's answer the question. These niggas are corny as fuck. They
I
don't.
gave you an answer. You just don't
make
want it.
No, what answer? No, I'm answering the question without blaming women. These men are corny as fuck. There are men out here right now that's getting the bag. Let's talk about it. There's men that's getting the bag. There's men that make money every day, drive a nice car, got a nice home, and they can't get a woman. Why? Because they're corny. They're corny as shit. And
Well, what is corny? I don't like that word corny, but
I won't say
when you
corny.
say corny,
I'll
what
say
do you
they're
mean when you say
unattractive, or they can't communicate, or they have no relationship.
That has nothing to do with it. Hold on, let me say this. There are men in the gym right now that are in the gym every day. They got their bodies together. They got their health together. They got their bread together, right? They're living good. They're not needing for anything, and they're not married. So what does that say? If you are that guy and you're not married.
Hold on, brother. Look, guys like that normally they're either single by choice or
you sound like these women single by choice.
No, hold on. Let me finish.
I agree with
Randall, he's not going to let you. He's not going to let you finish. He's not
but
going to
here's
let
the
you
thing:
talk.
they're either single by choice because they don't want to be committed to nobody. They just like slaying it like that. Okay, or number two, they got no relationship skills, so they can get a woman, but they can't hold on to them. It's one of those two.
So you're going to take the single by choice route. So you
I was single by
you know how
choice,
many
bro.
dudes I know
I
that
was
just
single by choice,
I don't
bro,
want to be
and I
married.
got everything I want.
Right? You have any idea how many guys I know just don't want to be married? They make far more than six figures. These guys are in the gym as much as I am. That chiseled from stone bodies.
Okay, what about the men that want to be married? What about the men that want to be married, Mandrell? Why they not married?
Woman after woman.
Mandrell, I'm asking, why are there men out
Referee
here?
timeout.
No, that's fine. Take a time out because if you can't handle the food, get out the fuck out the
No, you won't let us talk.
No,
and again, black man, hold on, black man.
You won't let any of us talk.
There are guys
You're
out
still
there
moving the goalposts
who
and
do have
pushing
all
I'm
that.
not moving the goalposts. You in your 40s, why you not married?
You just made the right one.
You making the money. You got your body together.
I
You
don't got no
living
money.
good with your wife.
like
Mandrell,
that.
same
No
thing.
The
Y'all
jigsaw
both
puzzle.
got
We
your
all-
bodies together.
We all
Y'all
know
work
what you
out every
make,
day.
man.
Where
You
your
know that,
wives
right? You not having money.
I don't have any money. I know what you're
That's
talking
a
about.
flat out lie.
Oh wow! Can I answer that quick? Can I jump in? I was precious earlier. Let me jump in.
And the other question is, why don't you got your body together?
Don't do that.
So what?
The other
To answer
question is,
that
why don't
question.
you have your body together?
Okay, right. Why
to-
don't
to-
have
wait,
my
wait.
body together? Hold on,
To-
Scam. Let me address Scam. He said, "Well, I don't have my body together."
You're not gonna let us
Hold
talk
on, let me
anyway.
make you a promise. Make you a promise.
You're not gonna let us talk
me
anyway.
Me and you right now can go to a club. I bet you I can pull more hoes than you.
Wait,
And that's a guarantee.
I bet you I can
I
get
got the swag to do it. I got the mouthpiece to do it, and I ain't no goofball.
I don't have
Well,
no
here-
I'm
problem.
gonna shut that shit down right now.
I'm gonna leave
Well,
TV
here-
longer than
here-
you are.
here- let-
Hey,
let-
it is what it is, bro. I'm not
Well,
arguing
well-
nobody, man.
Instead of going to the club, why don't you meet me in the gym?
Well,
Okay, I'll meet you in the gym, but
I'm
I still
talking
got. Hey,
survival.
look, I still got the hey, I'm still charismatic. You're not gonna be funnier than me. You're not gonna be well spoken
You ain't
than me.
gonna be funny on a treadmill.
Hey, but
You're
I'm
humping and
married.
pumping.
But I'm married though. So I need to get my body together. But you don't have no wife. You living alone.
Wait,
You wake up every morning. You wake up every morning to a pillow. I wake up every morning to a wife and kids.
You wake up to an oxygen tank.
If I die today, I got a legacy. You die today, you left by yourself. What do you have? What do you have?
You wake up to an oxygen tank
What
every
do you
day.
have? What do you have?
Wait.
What do
Guys,
you have?
guys,
What is your legacy? Where are your children? Where's your wife? You're 45. You got the body. I don't have the body. I got a wife. You got the body. You don't have one. Why? You in the gym every day, no wife. Why?
Hey, fella. Hold on. Go ahead, Real Precious.
Hold on.
He did it, not me. I was trying to pass the mic to
All right, we got it, Scam. Calm down, baby.
We have these conversations. We have these conversations for understanding. Okay. I enjoy you guys being on the panel because you always have great perspectives. We're able to get the conversation going, and we're also able to, entertain the viewers. Now, I don't want you guys up here going at each other, because if you're going at each other, then those who are watching are not going to be able to tell who's who. I always say when, people are arguing, you can't tell one fool from the other fool. And none of you guys up here are fools. I don't want you displaying yourself that
Don't
way.
speak too soon, Precious.
And I don't, Mandrell, please. Thank you. And I don't want you to be portrayed that way. Okay. So, all right. Everybody has their own personal situation. I wanted you guys to share from your own personal viewpoints, whatever you feel comfortable with sharing on, without blaming women. Why do you think that you are single? We're not even going to say why you can't keep a woman. Why are you single? Because there are good men out here. And yes, we can say that maybe there aren't the wives that you guys, want to have and things like that. But as the pursuers and the protectors and the providers wanting to be married, and you're not married yet, what exactly is the holdup?
Let me say this real fast.
Go ahead, Hank. Go ahead.
Most men are not going to get married unless a woman requires it, right? So if a woman's offering everything I need from her without actually being married, there's no reason for me to do it. There's no reason for me to say I do, because I can get everything I need or want from a woman without even offering my hand, offering a hand in marriage. I don't have to. So if I could get all them benefits, everything, and she doesn't require that, men are not going to do it. Now, once these women start requiring marriage, men's going to have to adjust and adapt. Men's going to have to make some changes. Men going to start doing what they need to do. But if the requirement is not there, yeah, we just going to stand back and enjoy life.
Okay, so women are not requiring it from the man.
Is that technically not blaming the woman, though?
Yeah, I was about to say it's hard to answer that question without including a viewpoint on a woman, as far as I'm concerned. I just tried it in my mind, and everything that I was going toward was leaning towards a woman. And I don't know if that's by design.
Okay, so
I can try. Can I try?
Okay, before you try, right? We're not blaming you're not blaming women. So what is it about you? Do you like your alone time? Do you not want to deal with the riffraff, that you see out here? But what is it about you that you're like, I would rather be single right now?
Can I say
You just mentioned a couple of them. Go ahead. I'll wait after you.
Just my opinion, my thought, from my personal perspective. When you are starting out, the type of women that you desire, most of the time she don't desire you, depending on the age. I'm talking about high school, going up through college. The type of women you want, that you imagine that you would be one of, she has options. She's in her youth, she's fertile, she has options. So if you're not at a certain level of of the guys that you're competing with, then most of the time, you're not going to attain her. So when you do put your head down and you do focus on your body, on your finances, on your peace of mind, on your stability, by the time you are at the age now that you are ready to settle down, those women now, now you got to question why they want you. So you've been alone so long, grinding to become desirable, that once you finally are desirable, do you really want to give up your peace? So most people will just stay single because I'm so used to doing it by myself. Why would I introduce this person to my home who will cause dysfunction or may cause, chaos in my life when I'm comfortable? I'm not happy. I may be still lonely, but I'm comfortable. And I will settle for comfortable over dysfunction anytime. So I think that's probably, once you get to a certain point, you don't even care no more. You know what I'm saying? You'll sleep with women, you'll have sex with women, but trying to actually move somebody in your house to create a family, it doesn't matter at this point because you're getting old. You're like, all right, I've done this long. Why?
So at that point, would you say they would just rather stay single for the rest of their life?
I believe sometimes it's considering what we're seeing going on today with relationships and the divorce rates. Why put myself, why I throw my hat in the ring to have everything taken from me, my children used as a weapon, and have to deal with the court systems when I'm cool. You know what I'm saying? I'm cool by myself. I'm cool with just maintaining what I have,
So is that complacency? Would you, because I mean, whether they did it in their youth or not, or whether they got a girl when they wanted to, they would still have to incorporate her in her life and joining in with them. So are you saying after a while they run out of fuel to continue to pursue a woman because they don't want to have to go through the process of getting to know her, seeing what she had, because everybody got some shit. I always say you want to deal with somebody's shit. Like ain't nobody free of it,
Oh, do you?
So well, look, a jury. But is it that you run out of the desire and the energy to then incorporate someone into your life at a certain age?
Are you asking him specifically? Because I can answer it.
Well, yes, it's a question for anyone. Go ahead, Sean.
Okay. In all seriousness, when I first met you a couple of years ago, I was in pursuit of having a wife.
Mm-hmm.
Since I sing the song "I'm Just a Bachelor" ever since I read the definition of a bachelor, which was a few weeks ago. But I say it in jest, but it's real. The seriousness behind it is that it takes a lot of time and energy for a relationship, and my patience and tolerance is diminishing as I get older. My tolerance for all of the unresolved pain that a lot of the women who I am attracted to, or who I think have those qualities as being good wives, they also come along with good baggage, and having to prove yourself and them to be trustworthy is very draining sometimes. It's very exhausting. And I can get whatever I want. If I just want sex, I can easily get that. I just don't always just want sex. I actually did want a relationship, but it's easier to just get sex because that's what they're used to settling for, so to speak. So when somebody who's actually not trying to get in your panties, who's actually trying to secure you, you run them around the ringer more than anybody who making you feel good. You run them around the ringer, and I find that exhausting. So as a single man, that is part of the reason why I personally am still single, because it's very exhausting. I spoke with somebody that I'm interested in recently, and I say, yo, I realized something. You are just starting to trust me, is what she told me. I said, I've been trustworthy since I met you. And quite frankly, now I'm starting not to trust you, because you're sitting there putting up all these little guards and all of these barriers, and you can tell me things half of the time, then you can't tell me things the other half of the time. It becomes very confusing, very exhausting, and I just don't have the time and patience for that as I get older. And when I speak on it, I hurt their feelings because I'm very direct about it. And so now I got to go ahead and put more energy into figuring out how not to hurt their feelings because I'm being direct to them. Then I have to figure out when being direct, they don't really want direct, although they say they want honesty, they don't really want honesty. So it's really confusing at times, and that confusion causes a lot of exhaustion, and that's why personally it's difficult for me to get in a relationship.
And man, keep
So
telling the truth. Oh, go ahead.
can I say this one thing? So Sean, you mentioned like the unhealed trauma, the unhealed hurt from other people. And I believe that it is hard for a man, and you guys correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that it is hard for a man to really get over heartbreak, right? It's hard for you guys to get over when you want a woman so bad, and let's just say you have had her and she do you dirty, or you want a woman so bad and she don't want you the way you want her, or you want a woman so bad and she done took your money or used you for money, whatever the case may be, you have turned out to be hurt by that situation. I feel as though men do not recover from that the way that women may recover, or I feel like have a different type of ability to recover. We're able to talk things out, express things a little bit more openly than you guys do. So with saying all of that, do you think that with not healing, not letting those things go? I always say I like to travel light. I don't want to be burdened down by anything. So if somebody hurt me from my past, I'm letting it go. It's in a sea of forgetfulness, because if I carry it with me today, I'm not going to be able to be open to anyone else who may want to love me. But that also takes being open to those possibilities and letting those things that hurt me in the past go. So for men, when you don't let go of the things that hurt you, how do you expect for your stamina to love someone to really be at a healthy, height, when it's like, you this, you that, and then you don't really let that go, or you don't really forget about that person, or just really rid yourself of what you're going through with that person, and then you go on to the next person, remembering or thinking about what the last person did. How do you guys really process and move forward with
men? Hold on, Black Lady. Men are carriers of pain. This is what they do. It's been like this for years, right? Men go out to war. Mandrell went out to war. There's some things happen in war that Mandrell experienced, that pain in war, that he will never speak of to anybody. Right? He's carrying that to this day. Right? There are men have gone to war. There are men have experienced a death in their family. Mom left them. Right? Daddy passed away. They don't talk about those losses. They don't. They hold it in, and sometimes it even kills them on the inside. It really it affects them in their mind, their way they think, the way they move. It affects them. And now let's get from the family to relationships. When you're in a relationship and you give a woman all that you have, and I know everybody on this panel probably have been with a woman that you've given your all to, and she broke you. You never recover from that. There are men that will walk around, they'll smile, but internally they have a storm going on inside of them. And guess when it only activates? When they're by themselves, they good, right? But it only activates when you're in month 3 of that new relationship, and you see something. This girl, and the girl you with may not even intentionally do this, but you may see something in that girl that triggered you from your last relationship. And now you start to give her that same pain that she doesn't deserve from that last girl, because men do not, some men now, I think, I ain't gonna say all men don't do it now. A lot of men are sitting on it, going to therapy. And one of the things Hink that I love about Hink is that he promotes it. Hink said, go sit on somebody's couch and get the help that you need. Your jobs are even offering free sessions. So go do that. A lot of men are not going to get that therapy mentally, and they carry that pain from mama, sister, brother, even men who were SA'd, right? Some men were taken advantage of by older women when they were boys, and they don't talk about it, right? But then you see their behavior, you like, man, that's a Pookie over there. Well, if that's a Pookie, his first was a 49-year-old person. He was 12, right? He had to deal with that. So a lot of men deal with a lot of pain that they don't talk about, and they don't go sit on the couch and talk to anybody about, and then they start to take it out on everybody. New girlfriend, mama, sister, siblings, co-workers. It's just a pain that they carry.
I appreciate that.
I saw
right.
you raising your hand.
CB,
I saw him
yeah.
raising his hand.
I'm glad that black man mentioned that, but there's another thing behind that. It's not that we carry pain. Some of us use pain as the motivator to get better. Now, me working in corporate America, I've met a lot of single bachelors who making great money. For some apparent reason, they don't look like they're really looking for a woman. So I asked one of them, this is one of the big financial bank in Manhattan. What he told me bothered me. I thought it was just only him, not with a lot of guys were thinking the same way. They say from a heartbreak, they forced them to reevaluate themselves and set a keyword standard. For the past couple of decades, women say they have their preference, right? We're looking for in a man. Cool. You got these guys who work on themselves so hard to build themselves. They say, you know what? I'm going to set a standard what I'm looking for. If she don't meet up to the standard, I pass her by. You got a lot of eligible bachelors in the corporate world making great money, ain't trying to get married because they comparing every woman to a particular standard. If she doesn't meet the standard, she ain't worth it, but she good at the plaything, like a dirty rag. Use her and they talk her to the side. They're making $200, $300, $400, $500,000 a year, right? But you would think that they will settle down. Nah. Why should they settle down when the pain they carry within themselves force them to build some kind of standard? I hate to say this. When I ask some of the guys, their standards are so ridiculous, most women will never match up to it.
So what are they? What are they?
You hear among the social media body count, which is ironically a few of them have that in their standards. They talk about your family background. They go look at your family. Your family is bougie or ghetto, you completely right off. They have some kind of solid foundation. They will look at your educational background. They will look at who you surround yourself with. Now, that's one thing a lot of women don't notice.
Do you have a TV on in the background or something?
Oh, this is my kids. What I keep telling them.
Man, I told you, it sounds like you're in Switzerland watching a skating ring. Just listen.
Don't worry. After I body slam them, get a couple of power bomb and some jackknife, they'll calm down.
Yeah, we talking to you and in your background. Next on CNN.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I just thought a TV was on or something. I'm
it's
having
my
a hard
kids.
time hearing you a little bit.
It's my kids.
Okay.
Hello. Thank you. So after I was saying, when I hear these standards and hear these setup they have in place, I ask myself, why would I think that I pull one guy to the side and say, why are you standing the way it is? I think, guess what? When women have their preference and their preference don't make no goddamn sense, we don't match up to it, right? So what's wrong with you guys having that standard and we set you up whereby you're never gonna meet it because we know it's almost impossible for today's generation. So why should they settle for less if they have to build themselves multiple layer up and they expect them to come down to you?
Well, Black David, some men go to Walmart to get Charmin tissue, and all they have left is great value. So they just get the great value and go home and work with that.
Oh man, and that's hilarious.
Real Precious, am I lying? Real Precious?
We ain't told no lies.
And the funny thing
incidentally, I don't. I go to another store and get my Charmin.
Take the back check.
I don't. I go to another store and get my Charmin.
That's.
I'm not gonna. I ain't settling for shit. Listen. I'm not dealing with your one ply.
And got to prove my point. Hold on. So that means you're a pass. So that means you're a pass. So that means if you don't have, they don't have what you're looking for, you're willing to be a passport brother and go somewhere else and get what you need.
You can't wait on black women. That's a waste of time.
There we go.
Oh wow.
You cannot. Black women, you're not worth it.
Well, you know what's funny. You know,
you're crossing the line, bro.
Let me finish.
I read my case, Your Honor. I can't say no more.
How you gonna be on a panel with a black woman? Black woman, you're not working.
Let her finish.
I'm dusting you tomorrow for this.
You can dust me if you want to. Here's the thing. It's like this.
You're dusting, son.
It's like this.
I hold you to a higher standard.
Let me finish.
You're dusting.
Well, then let me explain.
Stop dusting your...
People, fellas, you're gonna run into the
you
same
failed
problems
on that one, man,
no matter what. Listen, you're gonna run into the
Your
same
sister
problems.
black.
Nobody no matter what race or woman you're going for. If you're lame, if you're lame with a black woman, you're gonna be lame with a Latina, an Asian, a white person. Okay, so if you're lame, don't be lame. Okay,
fair.
But when it comes to black women, I don't think you should wait on a black woman. It's not worth it. You're putting yourself in too small of a box because now you're doing the same thing that these women say. Oh, I want a man who's 6 foot tall, 6 feet, and six figures. You're doing the same thing she's doing. It's not worth it. Go find someone who loves you. That person might be Asian. That person might be Hawaiian. That person might be black. You don't know because you don't try.
Oh man!
I'm not saying anything disparaging.
So, Mandra, if you found a female midget that really loves you, you'll marry her.
Hold on, I'm not saying black women are evil. No.
That's why
I wanted to clarify myself because I know how that sounded when it came out.
If you found an Asian midget and she really loves you, would you marry her?
I don't date midgets, man. I'm not doing it.
So you got a preference then. You got a preference.
I do have a preference.
You ain't up but 2 inches from that midget status anyway.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. I think we would hear a lot less.
Fletcher, it's my fault. Blame it on me. Blame it on me. I said that by accident.
Let me finish. I think we hear a lot less complaining if people stop putting themselves in the box of just dating inside their race. You have to expand your scope, man. You have to go find someone who loves you, because even nerds get married.
You contradicting yourself because you just said you won't want to be with the midget if she loved you.
She can go find a midget that loves her. It don't have to be me. My preference is black women, but at the same time, I've come to accept the fact that it might not be a black woman that I marry.
See, now you're talking now both sides of your mouth. First you say your preference is a black woman, and then you're going to say, he ain't worth it.
Yeah, it's not worth it to just stay in that box of just only dating black women.
Okay, now you clean it up. You got some Kleenex.
Okay.
You got the Charmin over here.
I'm not. Listen, y'all had.
What are you using? Windex?
Black women did for
using
a long time.
purpose.
It's just not anymore. See, nowadays I use wet wipes.
Whoa.
Charmin. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Sometimes
where you learn about them wet wipes from?
Sometimes
a black woman?
Exactly. A black woman that.
I didn't
time out. It's not black woman. It's called Living Single. Remember that character in Living Single?
Is he dusting right now?
No, I'm not finished.
No, I thought he was going to say something else.
It's just these guys. It's just these guys are doing a lot of complaining, and then they're just like, see, black women this and black women. I'm like, stop dating black women then. Make a fucking decision. Why are you only in that box if you haven't? If they're giving you, that is the cause of this much ire in your life, why? It's on you now.
And it's on you now, Mindrell. So which women are you going after now? Because
you lost Asian midgets.
No, first come, first serve at this point. I mean, y'all can laugh and think it's funny you want to. That's cool.
I'm sorry.
I'm not insulted.
Asian midget need love too. Damn it.
Hey, that's cool. It's just
and if she got to have a step stool to put gas in the
but
car.
for real, I'm asking a real question though, right? I'm asking a real question. If it wasn't a black woman, what other women is it? Is it just like whatever woman loves you, whatever person has reproductive organs? Like, what are we doing here? Like,
when it comes to race, it doesn't matter
or not
anymore. It really does. I'm at the point. I don't care about the race anymore at all.
Okay, I want to say something really quick now that you've said that. I want you guys to tune in on Wednesday because I'm gonna have Gil Quero from Married at First Sight season 13 on here on Wednesday. So tune in because you say that race doesn't matter, and at this point you would date whoever. And it sounds like you be another contestant for Married at First Sight. Maybe you
I ain't doing
that show, huh? No,
I ain't doing that. I ain't for the Married at First Sight. No, I got to get to know you. And the thing is, what your question earlier was why guys out here still single who are looking for marriage. I can tell you from personal experience. I meet women and they say they want to be married. However, they want marriage and they want relationships, but they want it on their own terms. They want all this stuff the way they want it to be, but they're not willing to accept the man that they have for who he is. But she wants you to accept her for who she is, all her faults and good points alike. it's a very one-sided avenue, and that's just not going to work. Not even a friendship is going to work that way, let alone a relationship or a marriage. So yeah, I run into that more often than anything else. And
Well,
until I
marriage
find
at
some,
first sight is a place where everybody wants to be married.
but on their own terms, or do they want a real marriage, or the same
Let's
kind of
sign
marriage
you up
I'm
and let's
looking
just see what
for?
happens.
What I mean,
Yeah,
again, it
let's
depends on
Let's
the
just
type of
sign
marriage.
you up. We're gonna
It
sign you
depends
up.
on the type. I don't need you to sign me up. I don't need your help finding a woman.
Oh, the Christian Jubilee.
I could to chime in on what you just said, Mandrell. That's also an issue that black men in particular have
Yeah,
right
and
now.
that's
is
what
that-
that guy's frustration was. The guy on the video. I guarantee you, that's the root cause of his frustration.
But he also
He's
said he had
trying-
anger issues
I told you
and
what his frustration was.
Well, he needs to see therapy for that.
well, a lot of
Maybe he has
men have
anger
anger issues because
Well,
they're
he
not
goes-
seeing a therapist. They're not getting out
Yeah.
the frustrations that they have
I
in their
just said that.
dating life and their personal lives and their lives with their family. A lot of
Right.
men do not get the support that women get. Women can do whatever and still get a shoulder to lean on or a house or a hot plate. Men don't get that.
Right. I think I understand that,
Precious, I had a question for you,
But
too.
and the thing is, when it comes to things like that, like being that for her guy, I don't know of any woman in my generation or younger who is willing to do that. Yeah, well, I can't say I don't know any because that's just not true. But it's a very, very rare attribute to find in a person who's willing to really do what it takes to maintain a marriage or even just a relationship. Like you'll get women on panels like this, and they'll say they're looking for this and that, and they're willing to do this and that for their man. But when it comes to practical application, when they find themselves in that position to do just that,
they gone.
They fail.
Yep.
They're out of the door.
Now, I
And
do
then
agree
you
with
can
you.
bring it up. Then you can point it to them like,
Yeah.
you said this, and you didn't do that.
Let me
You know what I'm
just say
saying?
something. Let me just say something.
Mandrell,
really
you
quick.
know why that is.
People
Not
don't know who they are
If
until
a
they're in those
woman,
positions.
if a woman fails to do what you may want her to do, desire to do, what she thinks she gonna do for you, she don't like you. She's not
There
into
you go.
you. She don't want you.
There you
That's
go.
the problem. But that's the
There
problem.
you go.
Well,
That's the
Can you
problem.
repeat
They
that?
date guys that they
Can you
don't
say that
really
again,
like.
please?
that may be a problem. However, I think a lot of guys internalize that as rejection, right?
Yep.
They
Yep.
internalize that as rejection, and they see themselves as not worthy of being with the next person, or they wanted that person so bad that this person ain't doing whatever, that's not into
Yeah.
them. They wanted this person so bad that they have blinders on. So when the next person does come, or their heart is shut down, or they don't want to give it another chance. We done ran across all the reasons. But I think that when a woman does not want to follow your plan or get on your plan or be the one that you want her to be for you in your life, you can't take that personal.
But
Because
here's
at the end
here,
of the day, if you're the man, you still gonna be the man. That woman
With
is
or
just gonna
without
miss
her.
out on you being that man.
Exactly. And
Oh,
the thing,
Precious.
just one
So why
quick
get
I got a
second,
question.
Sean. One quick second, Sean. Precious, I agree with you because I happen to think you're 100% right on that. However, learning how to handle rejection or being disappointed is nearly a lost art. Guys don't know how to take it on the chin and keep moving. Guys don't know how to get like knocked down or knocked out and keep moving. You know what I mean? Like they'll take it, and like you said, they'll internalize it and take it personal when all they have to do is stop, let it burn. It's gonna hurt, and the guys have to understand this, fella. It's going to hurt. Okay, let that shit burn, because when it's not burning anymore,
on,
you're
Usher.
still gonna be the same guy, and learn from it.
It makes you
And learn
cold,
from
though.
it and make it better.
Reality is, it makes
But
you
can't-
cold,
You can't.
and you
It
living in a
can.
society right now
It
where
can
women
make you
are
cold. You can't let it,
shallow,
though.
women are materialistic, and women right now have adopted a model of get the bag.
But I honestly wish it didn't make
Joy,
men
where did-
cold.
where did they get that from?
I honestly wish that
They
it
got
didn't
that from
make men
men.
cold. I really do because
Yeah, it should.
because
You shouldn't
if
let it.
because I play sports, right? And if we lost, then it's not like we would quit playing the game. We would
Right.
practice harder. We would get in the gym. We would get in the weight room, and then
Elevate.
win or lose, we still there the next day.
And that's
So
what I
when
was.
it
That's what I
comes
said.
to so when it comes to men, and I'm thinking of men, and I think highly of men. I'm an advocate for men. I want y'all to win. I want y'all to have what y'all want. I want y'all to be happy. I want you to be at peace. I want you to have love and joy. But when I hear these conversations and I hear men like Ojore say, "Oh well, it makes us cold," or we tired, or black woman ain't worth it. That was an all-time low, man, Joe. I'm just let you know that right now. Okay. But anyways, when I hear that, it disheartens me because our men are supposed to be our pillars, our strong tower, our people that are not giving up, the people that we can run to and be confident that you will be that man. I think a lot of times, sometimes men show that he's just not that dude. And so a woman can feel that, a woman can sense that, a woman knows that there's something there, it ain't right.
Hey,
You
Precious.
know,
Hold on.
it
Let me.
disheartens me when you guys
can I ask you a question,
lose your
Precious?
faith. It really does. It disheartens me, and I'm sure it probably disheartens other women because you don't hear a lot of women saying they getting their passports and going to X, Y, and Z and doing and mind you, I don't care that y'all do that because you find love wherever you find it.
Exactly.
But at the same time, it's disheartening to hear a man say he's giving up on love, or he's tired, or it's going to make him cold, or because we don't have community without black men.
Yeah,
we don't have nuclear
let
families
me-
without black men.
And you can't let it make you get. My thing is, Precious, you can't let that's why fellas need to learn how to manage their emotions, because these things, like, we've all had our heart broken before, but I'm not a cold individual. Now I knew I needed to, what I said earlier, I knew I needed to clarify myself because I know how that sounded when it came out. But no, I'm not. You're not going to hear me say I hate black women and try to devalue black women. I'm not going to do that.
Stop you, bro.
What I'm saying, however, what I was saying is, if it's that big of a problem for you fellas, explore the races then, because this is not working for you. Okay, why get stuck on just one then? You claim to have all these options. You claim to have all the money and all the options. Then go do it. Let's see that.
Precious,
but no.
Precious, can I ask you a question?
They keep going after the same type of women
Ask me
and
a question.
same race. And I'm just like, okay, fella, enough is enough. Fix it.
Here's
Go ahead,
a question.
Sam.
Question, and just be honest.
Mhm.
When you saw the picture of that dude who was in the car, told, "Whoa, 6 figures to women's," did you see? He makes 6 figures. Oh my God, that's the guy.
Not at all.
But he makes 6 figures though. What are you talking about?
Yeah, he serves in the military, Precious.
You weren't.
That didn't do it for you?
No.
What you saw is a man who had been whipped.
Hold on, you didn't see protecting. You're telling me that protect and provide, because he was. I could look at his forehead, see he had veins sticking out. He was in shape. So you're telling me protect and provide wasn't what you saw, and you didn't scramble for his Instagram?
Nope.
Why?
Because I think when someone asks you a question, why are you single, and you bring other people into that equation, you're not taking accountability. You're not taking accountability of where you are in your life as a man who can get what he wants and should be able to obtain what he wants. I don't think that men really operate at their full potential and operate in their full power. Just because it's not the woman, that particular woman that you want, don't mean that you shouldn't stop pursuing getting a woman as your wife. If you want a wife, get a wife. If God gave us everything that we wanted, exactly the way we wanted, we would have no need for him. So it disheartens me again when I see black men giving up on love and getting tired of certain things, because I believe that you guys should have what you want. But it seems to me that,
Black David, let 'em cook, let
men
'em
aren't
cook.
necessarily going after what they want because they're getting tired during the race.
Precious. Did him going and getting more money in the bag and the 6 figures, because he didn't have it before and he went and got the money, did it fix and change anything? Because they keep talking about this big money, protect and provide. Did it fix it? Because my issue is this, and then I'll pass the mic. I had to, J Speed, if you're out there watching, you were right, I was wrong. He keeps telling me a lot of the dust conversations we be having, there are 18, 22, 25-year-olds watching, thinking it's real. I was wrong. So you saw it on Lapeef. I'll call it out. The dude, Alex something, came on a Lapeef on a Thursday, which I never really watched a Thursday. Quoted every talking point from the last 7 years.
Wait. Alex, the young boy, the young kid.
Yeah. That
Okay, I think he had trauma. I think he had trauma with him though.
She beat him up. He said, "Girl, beat him up and everything."
Yeah,
that wasn't the point. That's not the
what
point.
I'm saying is they're coming into these spaces.
You can't say that's
And
not
this
the
is-
point. People are
and they're-
sick out here.
No,
They're
the
coming
point
out
that
to
he's
these
making
talking
is what I'm
points.
talking about.
He's talking about his passport, his 6 figures, and all this stuff.
When people are sick, they will drink from the poison that you feed them.
Exactly.
Right. The thing is, the point is, they're coming here for answers.
Jim Jones.
And a lot of this crazy, and they're getting a lot of bad information.
And so did that guy. And you asked me about the guy in the video, right? You said,
Right.
would I, because he has 6 figures, blah, 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 blah. He said to Kendra, and I edited this video. This video was 6 minutes, I believe, on Instagram, and I think 19 minutes.
19
on
minutes.
YouTube,
Yeah.
Right?
You're right. Yeah.
He said, I watch your show about 4 to 5, maybe 6 times. Okay. Any woman who is truly looking for a husband, and you hear a man say, "Oh, I watch your show, and I couldn't wait to get on here, and I couldn't wait." That's a man who can't wait to attack a woman for what he don't have. And
Yeah.
that's not a man that I would be attracted to. It's just not. You either take accountability or you don't. And it's simple as that.
Mandrell, she sounds like one of us. Precious sounds like one of us.
She does. She sounds just like us.
Yeah. Can I
It's
say
the same
this?
stuff we be saying. I mean,
I can't even address your point of view, Precious, because you're rare. And when you ask the question, somebody said
Amen.
it earlier, because the quality of
look at God.
What just
Look at God.
Mandro?
Okay, I'm just saying, Precious. Look, okay.
I want to respond to
No,
your
but I'm just saying.
statement.
Here's the thing, fellas.
He was complimenting her, by the way.
Yeah,
She is
but
rare.
the only
Very
thing
rare.
is, Precious, to answer your question for me personally, I just hadn't found what I'm looking for yet. I don't blame women because they have a right to like what they want, what they like, and if I'm not it, fair enough. I'm just not your flavor. Now it's not gonna make me hard or anything. Just okay, keep looking. If marriage is what I want, that's what I'm gonna have to do anyway. So why let it make me hard? That's gonna set me. If I let it make me hard, it's just gonna set me back. It's not hurting her. It's not hurting other women. It's only.
But the
hurting me.
dishonesty is,
So-
bro, it's like kind of like walking in a room and your girl talking about you to her girlfriends in a negative light. You can act like you ain't hear that, but the fact is you heard it and it will affect your relationship.
and then you address
So
it
if
with it
you
when you're in
keep hearing
private.
these women saying how they feel about men, it does affect you, regardless of how
It
you
doesn't,
feel.
it doesn't affect me.
But
They
don't
ain't
pretend
talking
you
about
don't
me.
hear it.
They're not talking about me.
No, not you
So why does it affect
specifically.
me?
but-
You know what I mean? Let them talk. That's their experience. I mean, I've got nothing to do with that. I didn't do it to them.
Sean, CBN, you could go after Sean because Sean was speaking and then he got dropped, and then we'll have you go. Okay.
Okay, what I was saying is that the quality is just not as quality as we need it to be, and I say that because a lot of people, men and women both, say what they want but don't mean what they say, and it's unfortunate that we continuously have this cycle, and it's because of drama. I specifically wish that people would take at least a year off after every relationship. I've been celibate for 2 years and then celibate again for another year after a relationship, simply to get that clarity and to get that disconnection from a person before I pursue another one. And
Sean,
I
Sean,
wish.
can I ask you something?
Go ahead.
Can I ask you something real quick, Sean? If you're at the house and you're about to go somewhere nice and you're about to dress up real nice and go somewhere and you got your jeans out or your nice polo shirt and you're about to head out and you plug the iron up and you walk away from the iron and you come back and the iron starts to smoke, what's the first thing you're going to do? If you
Unplug
see
the
the
iron.
iron start to melt and start
Unplug
to
the
catch
iron.
fire,
Unplug the iron.
you're going to unplug it. I think that's what men need to do in the first stages of relationships when they see the red flags with their female. When you first see her burning and starting to melt, unplug from my ass and move on.
And the
Period.
point-
Like, I think the reason that men are hurt is because they stay with them Like, because men have staying power. Let's just be real. Men have staying power, and they don't like to leave. Men don't leave. You hear men all over this place say men don't leave. They stick around. And I think men have stuck around with women. I've seen men look like they're 100 years old and they're 45. It's because you stuck around with a woman that you wanted to accept you. You want her to accept you, and you just say, you know what? I'm just going to deal with it. I'm just going to be complacent. I'm just going to stay with this woman. And this woman like a booger wolf. She drives school buses, and you just going to stay with her because she means everything to you and at the time, and that ran out. She expired over time, and you knew at the beginning that she was going to expire, but you didn't unplug. And now you're dealing with all these emotions and hurt and pain because you're stuck around too long.
And in some cases, I agree with that, but in other cases, I don't. In other cases, to Precious' point, men don't let go. But what I've been finding, what I've been finding as well is, no, I'm talking about their pain. Men don't address their pain. Men don't let go of it. They harbor it. But not all men do that. But what I've been finding is that women harbor their pain. They don't forgive. They don't let go. In my scenario. And so me personally, I got hurt. When we first met, I told you, got to get over the pain. Hurt comes with relationships. If we're going to sit there and say, oh, once you cross that bridge, you can't ever come across. I addressed that with you. We're going to have failed relationships. We got to stop that.
Yeah, hurt people, brother.
Right. So to your point, I agree. We need to walk away, separate. And that's what I was just suggesting.
I agree with Sean on that. I mean, especially if you're a man, you've been heartbroken, you need to go on a sabbatical for real. You can't have heartache and then try to start something with someone new. That's just not going to work at all.
Thank you.
Like, how are you going to fall in love with someone else when you're still heartbroken over another person?
Exactly.
It's not going to happen.
And sometimes you'll think you healed and get into a relationship, and guess what? That PTSD hit your ass. You go right back to the same hurt you had when using that last relationship. So you got to make sure, like you said, that sabbatical, it's got to be for a length of time. I think every man who deal with really bad heartache should go at least 13 months without even talking to a woman, dating a woman. You need to build yourself up spiritually, mentally, physically, go to a therapist, sit on somebody's couch, and do that for 13 months straight. Exercise your mind on what you think you need to do, how you're going to handle the next female, how you're not going to let the pain interfere with what you're trying to build with somebody new. Go 13 months, man. Don't have sex with nobody. Like Sean said, don't have sex with nobody. Just clear yourself completely. Build you, and then you set a standard for you. And then when you get back out on the dating market, if she don't meet that standard on that first date, you should give her 2. The first date, you should find out about her family, where she comes from, who she is, how many siblings she has, was her dad in her life. Then that second date, it should be a closing date. Either this date is going to carry on to a third one, or I have not seen enough from you to move on. So I'm going to look for another candidate. You need to turn into a supervisor at your job.
I was going to say into sales. I'm in sales, and you got to vet the customer. You have to ask questions. That's the number one thing in sales. You're asking questions and listening.
You know if they can buy or not.
Yeah.
When you say I got to pull your credit.
Yeah.
I have a solution.
And also, just to add on to that, you need to do what we used to call in the Army an AAR, an after action review. Think about the relationship. Think of the things that person told you did wrong. Think of and try to clear that up. Think of the things that you could have done better that person didn't address. You need to develop habits to make sure you don't make those same mistakes again. So you use every relationship I've tried to use every relationship I've ever been in to elevate and be a better person for not only the next relationship, but for whoever I'm with, down the road. I think every man should do that. Should it take 13 months? It depends on the person. Some people, it might take 8 months. Some people, like BMU said, 13. Just take as much time as you need. Don't be in a rush, and don't be a horn dog. You ain't got to jump on every woman you see.
You don't, because what you're doing is you're encouraging the women that don't deserve anything, and you're making them feel like they're about everything. Shit, stop putting them up on the pedestal.
But you do need, fellas, you do need to elevate after every relationship and broaden your scope. Okay? There are 4 billion women on this planet. She doesn't have to be a black woman.
No,
boy, he pushing this white woman love, ain't he?
No, I ain't pushing white women.
White
I ain't
woman
pushing
love
white women.
tonight.
And I listen. I'm not
And he
pushing
want him
foreign
to
women.
knock
Look,
out his
I'm
Fighter too. I know.
not
I
pushing
know.
foreign women. I'm not pushing white women.
Andrew
No,
want him
there's
to knock
plenty
out
of
his
different
I like
races.
where I'm too.
Ricky
Plenty of
Lake.
different races right here in this country. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? It's the thing is over. It's like this. It's the
He's
information age
stupid.
and it's internet and all that stuff. Fellas, you might have to find yourself in a long distance relationship, or a woman who lives in another city.
I know.
Next
You gonna
door,
get your
or
fat
across
white
the
woman from
country, whatever the
Wisconsin.
case may be.
That's what you gonna
Broaden
have,
your
man.
scope. I'm not getting a fat. Oh, come on, I got standards.
He said a fat white woman. There's a lot of
Hey,
W's in it. Fat
hey.
white woman from Wisconsin.
I have standards. Hey.
Smell like cheese.
No.
Let me think on this one.
Worcestershire.
Look,
You
you know
smell
what?
like
I honestly
Worcestershire.
I couldn't bring that home. Like a fat white, I couldn't. Like, bro, my mama and all my aunties.
Yeah, she'll knock you
No,
out.
I
No,
never
hell
put that
no.
down. Like,
You what you
ever.
do? You give her that same goddamn speech you gave us. You can find love anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
It would work.
Now,
Like
let me-
that
There's certain
midget.
things I just can't bring home, man. It's just I
So
know
you
what
want
time
you
it is.
want
Like,
us other brothers to
so if
suffer
it's
with this
if
white
it's something I
woman,
can't bring home,
but you're not
if it's
willing to
something I
suffer
can't
with the white woman your damn self.
if it's something I can't bring home, Hank, you don't have a chance. I can't. No, let's not even start.
Let me say something real quick here,
No.
because I hear the conversation was going on. I hear what Will Pritchard is mentioning. I think that one factor a lot of people have overlooked that have been going on for multiple decades. Now, for the young black brother who get rejected, they used to reject them from middle school to high school to college, right? And they quote unquote people say you need to be on your purpose, if that's correct. Now, this have been true for many decades, and a lot of people sleep on this. There are a lot of black brothers who stay on their purpose, mind you. They work on themselves, they work on their body, they work on their grind, they work on their study, they work on their foundation. Right?
Damn stupid, bro.
No, I could care what Scam said because he's stuck in La La Land. I'm stuck in reality.
No, he's not.
I don't do talking.
To be
points.
quite
So
honest,
that's-
the person
It's
who's
a
most
talking
right,
point, Black David.
no, to you it's talking
the
point.
person who's the most
because
correct
you
on
love
all
to
these channels
troll.
is actually
I
Scam
like
Likely.
to interact with people in real life off the web and find out what is really true, what is not.
Oh, take your
So do
kick off,
I.
Andrew.
It's a talking point.
I'm just
Not
saying, you gotta
exactly.
listen to what the man's saying.
You were doing immigration or whatever we were doing, but I was doing multiple corporation and I interact with multiple people, more than 1,000.
And what's the point?
As I was saying,
Okay.
forward interrupted by a bunch of midgets. Anyway, there'll be brothers out there who working on themselves, only get attracted to people of the other race. And they ask that question, why is only these people are attracted to me, but not what I'm looking for? Because I keep saying before, and people sleep on this, it's the value system. What is the value that black women have to their generation and the past generation? What do they think is the quality of a black man they're looking for? Is it realistic or is in La La La? Which one is it? And they say they can find a good man, but there's always a good man around them, but they never pay attention to them. Why is that? Because people like Chicky Banter is the one perfect example. He mentioned that several times. He would love to date a black woman, but he never get attracted to a black woman because while he's on his purpose and on his path, the people that are attracted to him who see his true worth are people who are not black. And unlike this fun looking dude right here, maybe he's stuck in one era. I did in the banking industry. I've done in construction. I've done in media. I've done many different avenues. And I see the same exact thing. Those who are building themselves, like you said, man, to get them together, right? They work on them, they go to the therapy, they build their money up, they build their body up. And while they focus on their purpose and their path, who are the one that mostly follow them the most?
Well, the thing is, Black David, African Americans, and you might hate to hear this, but it's a fact. African Americans are simply not trained to recognize value. Not the way we're supposed to be.
Good job.
Bingo.
We're not, and you know, because I growing up, I told my sister, you know, I said, listen, she said she was really young, like a teenager, and she asked me, she said, what about this dude? He has potential. This, she kept talking about potential. I said, stop right there. She said, what? I said, don't ever date a guy for potential. You date trajectory. What do you mean? What does he want to do with his life? So she said, I don't know. I said, well, find out. Then look at what has he done in the past to start getting there. What is he doing today, right now, to get there? What are his plans for the future to get there? Look at where he's going currently, his momentum, his movement. Not what
Oh,
he says he
Mandrell,
wants.
hold
Hold
on.
on.
That
Not
comes
what
to
he
the
says he wants
corny.
to do, or not what he's capable of doing. Now that's something that applies no matter what age you are, unless you're in your like mid 40s or 50s. Then it's like, okay, bro? You're supposed to be at some place. You know, you can't ask a woman to go down with a ship. Anytime a ship goes down, the rule is women and children get off the boat first.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're tanking and she leaves, can you blame her?
All right, man. That was a nice story, Mandrell. We appreciate that. But it's final thought time, guys. Let's start to give our final thoughts.
Yes. So, thank you guys all who have joined, those who are not on the panel anymore, and of course, you guys who are still here. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you. Again, I have these conversations on Mondays to gain understanding, and so I think we definitely unpacked some good stuff here.
Everybody, your enemy to yourself.
Yes. So I'm glad we got real. I needed this. This is therapy.
Okay, so I'm glad that y'all came through because y'all got real tonight. It even got real heated. All right, y'all. We got family up on the panel going back and forth. I was like, my pearls. Where was my pearls?
Well, hold on. Let me say something. Me and Dusto, we do this on the panels, off the panels. At the end of the day, that's my big brother. He called me fat. I call him fat head. I call him ugly. He called me big chin.
If y'all was in person, I would have thought y'all was about to square up.
No, never.
No, we're good.
We don't never get to that.
Barely ever see me without a smile on my face.
Yeah,
All you gotta do is sit on him.
We family. Like I get on Black David. You know, sometimes when I tell when he turned into the purple hero, and then Mandrell, I get on him. You know, Step Stool University, and then
you should see, y'all should see Scam Lake and Jay Speed go at it.
Yeah.
Y'all thought him and Black Men
But you know what? That'll be a talking point
y'all
tomorrow.
Ain't seen nothing yet,
that'll be a talking point tomorrow that Scam Likely and Black Man Unfiltered are beefing. But this is what we do. We do this when putting the cameras on and when the cameras off. We're very consistent.
Okay, good.
And you know what's interesting about us men? We sometimes have that passion. It's like barber talk. You if you come from the outside looking in, you would think we're about to fight.
Yep.
But really, we just are passionately speaking, and no offense is taken, so we can do it longer. When the offense is taken, that's when it becomes an argument. But before then, it's
Don't
just a
mention the
passionate
barber
discussion.
shop. Not just roasters.
And guess what? And long as Precious ain't, Precious is one of those women who has a lot of class, right? She's and so she's not one of those women, because on another panel, what would have happened is me and Scam would have turned on somebody with that kind of talk, because what would happen is another woman would have been like, "Oh, Scam, you gonna let him talk to you like that? I wouldn't let him talk to me like that."
We jump on her.
Yeah, we'll get on her ass. But so
I was
thank you
in
so
here
Precious
like,
for being so classy. Please, we love you.
Nah,
Well,
with
thank you
her and
guys,
Shoo here on the panel will be nothing but laughter.
All right.
We're gonna get into these final thoughts. We'll start.
That's what I'm talking about.
We'll start with Hank, and then we'll go around and we'll end. We'll end at CBN.
World class.
We'll end at CBN. So we'll go ahead with Hank. Hank, final
Yo,
thoughts. I
class.
appreciate you. Thank you so much for being here.
Precious, you
Oh,
see
no,
World Class?
it's all good. It's all good.
Wait,
Look
what?
at World
Huh?
Class in the chat. You see what he said?
What happened?
I don't
Look at
see
the
him in
World
the
Class
chat.
in the chat.
He said this channel is too light skinned.
He says too light skinned over here.
Light-skinned.
Yeah, shut up, man.
We're not gonna dwell on that. We're not gonna dwell on that.
Go ahead, go.
We
I don't see
keep
World
rolling.
Class in the chat.
So my final thought, guys, man. Look, why men single? And I'm sure there's different reasons why these men are singles and why they choose to be single. But hopefully, eventually, they able to go out here and find a good lady, that is going to compliment them and bring some peace to their life. You know what I'm saying? That's going to be understanding, who's going to be agreeable, but at the same time be respectful. You know what I'm saying? And that's the most important thing. And so as long as, they can find that inside of a woman, hey, there's a chance he may not be single for long. You know what I'm saying? So that's my final thought for the night. Thank you, Real Precious, for having me, and thanks for having your platform. Keep doing what you're doing. So, I appreciate that. Thank you, man.
I really appreciate you. Thank you. All right. So Scam, you're next. Final thoughts.
Oh Lord.
In the community, can I get the big screen, please?
Oh, the big screen. The big screen.
Yeah, get the big screen, please. My name is Doctor. I'm the Doctor of Love.
Dr. Shih Tzu.
Check it out. I've been doing I've done a thorough diagnosis of the black community and a lot of the people and all the talking points and but the men's is the women's that goes on, and then it's the black man, the white man, and the on the purpose and the protect and provide. It always breaks down to this: people are suffering from dust capitosis, but the problem that caused this is people were not taught relationship skills. How to be in a relationship, how to communicate with one another, talk to one another, set expectations, like and love each other, and actually work together. They were not taught these things. So we had all these people running out of control, fat, ugly, skinny, broke, rich, all of that, just yakking and quacking. And the talking point mafia decided to make a profit telling people what it is that they want to hear because they can abuse their emotions and make a profit. That's all I got. I'd like to prescribe something, but $59.95 in medication. I can be reached at 832-555-DUST.
Can I go next? I gotta go get my baby. Can I go
Yes,
next?
yes, you sure
So,
can.
so let me say this. My closing thoughts. I can't follow that. Dr. Dusto coming in with the diagnosis of dust of malaria. However, tonight was a great show. Thank you, Real Precious, for putting on these shows with the men. You continue to do the great work. I do want to say, when it comes to relationships, I agree with Dusto. God damn it. I agree with Dusto when he says that, learning how to be in a relationship. And I also agree. I also wanted to say something toward what Mandrell said about staying power. I think that a lot of men are running into women who don't have staying power that will say, I love you, boo. I'm always going to be here. You're mine forever. And then you make one mistake or have one slip up and you go from being your forever to my yesterday. And so I think that staying power is important. I think men should definitely have a standard to say, listen, when I'm in it 100%. But you also have to learn how to unplug the iron before it melts itself. And understand that some women are just don't want to be with you. They don't like you. They give you all the coochie in the head you want, and they'll still not like you. They'll still move on to somebody else and be by themselves. All I ask the men to do is not connect yourselves to so much pain, but I ask you to go to the microwave, simply put a bag of popcorn in there, pop you some popcorn, and sit back and watch. Right? If you did what you're supposed to do, sit back and watch the movie, how it goes. And when it gets to the credits, that'll be the only movie. It won't be no sequel. She probably won't move on to anybody else, right? But you'll be healed. You go through your healing process. You go through your sabbatical. Don't go out here, coochie jabbing. Don't go out here trying to find, sweet lip Megan Mandrell and end up in a bad situation. So that's all I have. And thank you again for allowing me on your panel tonight. I appreciate you always.
Of course, anytime. Thank you. I appreciate you as well. We're going to go to Ajore.
I'd like to say thank you to the panel. Thank you, Ms. Precious. I really do enjoy your show.
Thank you.
And I think it was a lot of unpacking that happened today. And I really was happy to be a part of that. My final thought is this: we can never forget. Women choose. Women choose. I don't care how much you got your stuff together, how bad you think you are, how good you think you are. A woman chooses. So if a woman is not choosing you right now, focus on you, take care of you, and make yourself happy. Do the work, address your trauma, your past trauma, but make sure you are in mental and physical health. And once you are at a point where you're happy, you can focus on finding a mate. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't find her, so be it. At least you understand you're happy. And I would say don't settle. Don't settle. If you put yourself in a certain position where you are desirable and you have something to lose, learn from the mistakes of your elders, those that came before you. Learn from what's going on in society. Take notes and tread carefully. That's all I can say for the men coming up.
All right. Thank you so much. I appreciate you again for being here. We're going to go to L. Turner.
So yeah, I enjoyed the panel. Thank you for inviting me on, Precious.
Of
You
course.
always do your thing. I say this much: the most simple I'm gonna do is to women like you by singing your praise for what you're doing for men and for the community. But other than that, I don't give women that much attention anymore. I tell you what, I like the last guy's comments, and I pretty much agree with what he said. I think that going forward, you know, I'm a 37-year-old man. I have my past history of stories and situations, but none of that matters. Nobody want to hear man crying about what didn't work or what did. Ultimately, like all other saying, fellas, you know, sharpen your tools, sharpen yourself, invest in yourself, love yourself. That's what I'm working on every day. And these conversations are needed. I think that just like in the game of chess, when you're playing, you could kind of foresee if it's going to be a victory or a loss. And sometimes people see it and they'll say draw, meaning you can't win and I because we both got the advantage. Sometimes it's best in relationships that you see going nowhere. Save yourself. And then keep investing and pouring in yourself. You may meet somebody, you may not, but at the end of your life, the end of the day, you still going to be successful as long as you're following your passion. That got to be the priority over everything. Women should become secondary, and you know, if never before, because of this generation, they got to be secondary. It's late. I'm getting tired. I thank you. I ain't gonna hold y'all no longer. Thank you, everybody else. Peace.
Again, I appreciate you. Thank you so much, Al Turner.
Thank you so much, Al Turner.
We're gonna go down to Mindrell.
Appreciate it.
Gonna go down to Mindrell.
Mindrell.
Oh, it's my turn? Okay. The bottom line and the big picture here is that people don't know how to be in relationships. You know, you can't have a relationship nor a marriage on your own terms. That is not going to work, regardless of what gender. You can be the husband just because you're head of the household. That doesn't mean that your marriage is on your terms. No. Okay, women, you can't have it all. You can't have a relationship or a marriage on your own terms. So until you get rid of that philosophy, keep being single or end up with someone you don't really like. Those are your only two options. You know, as to why are people still single? Honestly, I think it just boils down to they haven't found the right one yet. And then what that means is that they either found someone they really, really like, but that person didn't like them, or they're dating someone they don't really like because they're bored and they need a placeholder until they find someone that they really like, which is the wrong answer, by the way. You don't do that to people. That makes you a piece of shit. So that's what it is. People don't. Scam hit the nail on the head. People don't have relationship skills. They do, and from my observation, they just don't know how to be in relationships. Since you asked the question, speaking for me personally, that's a lot of what I run into. Just people don't know how to be in relationships. So instead of wasting my time and sticking it around and seeing where it's going, all right, I'm not looking for that. So we can go our separate ways. So don't waste your time, fellas. And women, don't waste your time with people. If it's not what you're looking for, cut the cord and move on. Not only am I playing with that.
All right. Thank you. And again, I appreciate you for being here. We're going to go over to CBN, and then we're going to finish off with Sean.
First and foremost, I'm honored to be on the panel the first time to the Real Precious. This is one of the most interesting conversations that needs to be had because, let's be real, I'm glad what Manjo just said, but it's also been known. The art of being in a relationship and the art of building a relationship being lost due to the devices people have. People are stuck on social media. People are stuck on YouTube. People have to phone their face. Don't know how to sit down and have a conversation, get to know a person individually before we try and get between their pants. My fellow brothers out there, my advice for you is that work on yourself, build yourself, mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually. Don't worry about the women. Focus on you and you alone. When you working on yourself and you're going to that next level, the right person should come along. If she's not there in your environment, then go to another environment where you can find the right one. You know what I'm saying? This is reality. The relationship value in this country have fallen off all-time low. And the idea of finding the right one is unrealistic. Find people who are your elder and get the realistic value that will help you find the right woman for yourself. And women, I hate to say this, you need to go and seek your elder and see if your value system you have is corrupt or not, because most of y'all are delusional as hell. I gotta keep it 100. You can make up all type of lies all you want. At the end of the day, you're yourself to blame. And that's the number one problem. Until then, other than that, my brothers, stay on your path, work on you, and just be who you are. If a black woman don't come along, if someone else from another race respect your value and who you are as a person, let her work in your program. Don't sell yourself for less. Just do that. That's all I can tell you.
All right. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Again, I appreciate you for being here. And then last but not least, we have Sean. So we're going to get Sean in there and then we're going to get out of here. So Sean, what are your final thoughts?
All right. Let's see. First and foremost, I'm just.
And we know that you're just a bachelor.
No, seriously, I've been getting to know about 3 people over the last year or so. And I recently had a date with each of them. I want to say within the same week. And what I realized is that they all have great potential, but to the point that I was making earlier, is that they all seemingly are speaking that they what they want, but yet want you to prove that you have what they want. I learned about myself in these dates that I'm not really that keen on proving something when in fact I've been consistent throughout the whole year that I've been speaking and telling. And so one thing I haven't been is present. I didn't go on dates with them. Purposely, intentionally, and specifically, I shared with them and they shared with me. I need to feel your presence. I want to feel your vibe. And I said, I don't want that engagement to interfere with what I'm learning about you. I want to learn about you. I don't want to lust after you. I don't want to have any distractions about you. And while I do understand your desire of having that presence be felt, as leading this relationship in reference to what my role will be, I'm trying in a different way than the traditional way that you're used to and that I might be used to. Simply because I want to really get to know you without interference. So fast forward into this weekend, what I realized is that they all 3 individually shared with me, I have to know you before I can really trust you. And I was like, why is it that it's taking you so hard to determine what's trustworthy or not?
That's going to be another topic, Sean. So we're going to pin it right there because I think that'll be a good show, actually.
Yeah, and that's kind of where I left it. So as far as what we spoke about earlier, the Keke Palmer, and it lends to that same thing. You got to be mature if you're going to get engaged into a relationship, and I think that's something that we lack. Emotional maturity is something that was spoken of on a lot of different times tonight, and it's necessary. And the first part of that emotional maturity is understanding that once you choose not to be by yourself anymore and you engage with someone else, it goes from having a selfish mentality to a selfless mentality, especially when you bring a child into the fold, because then it's not about either one of you, it's about that child. So I think we should exercise understanding that mentality. Emotional maturity is something that's necessary that a lot of us lack, and it's not gender specific or age specific when I speak on it. And that's my final thought.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. And again, I appreciate you for being here. I appreciate all you guys again, those who are here and those who had to leave. Definitely catch the replay. If you're just joining us, it was a great conversation. Share this live, subscribe to the channel. Follow me on my platforms, The Real Precious, on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, all that good stuff. And now on Threads, The Real Precious, if you want to follow me over there as well. But this was a great conversation. I really enjoyed the unpacking with you guys and to gain further understanding. That's what we're here for. That's what I always strive for in life, period, is just to understand. Because we don't know everything and we don't know what we don't know. And to have these conversations opens up a lot of conversations that you can also have on your own with the people that you love and cherish and share your world with as well. So thank you. I'm gonna play this one more time and we're
If
gonna
you're a friend of everybody, you're enemy to yourself.
Yes. Yes. So I'm glad we got real. I needed this. This is therapy.
Thank you guys so much. Have a great evening.
Thank you.
Join us on Wednesday. Definitely join us on Wednesday. We will have Gil here from Married at First Sight, season 13. If you haven't, definitely check it out. It is on Netflix right now. So definitely go over to Netflix so you be caught up, so you know what we're talking about on Wednesday, because it's going to be all about Gil. We're going to ask him some questions about the show. We're going to ask him some questions about his life after the show, what made him get on, reality TV, all that good stuff. So please definitely tune in on Wednesday, this Wednesday, the 12th. Guys, it was a good one. Have a great evening. See y'all on Wednesday.